Regional Chairman of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Anthony Opon, wants government to prioritize these concerns to bolster economic growth for local businesses.
Ahead of the media budget, the Ghana Union of Traders of Ashanti region want to commend the government for the stability of the local currency against our major trading partners' currencies, and then also the inflation. We think it's a plus to the government, and they have done well, and we commend them for that. But we think the aggressive moping system of the Bank of Ghana and the Ministry of Finance has robbed the public of every money in the system. So now there's low liquidity in the system, and there's low sales, and business thrive on sales. So while there's no sales, there's no business. The flat rate that he promised us, duties are very high this time because of the introduction of the publican AI system. Our duties are on the high side now. We want to hear something about, because we met them at Accra and they promised that they want to run it as a test on a temporary basis for the first 6 months and see how it will go, so that we will know how they are going to adjust it. So we hope now 6 months has been enough time for them to have come to the realization whether it's helping or not, to give us some relief, because we are really suffering under the duties of the AI Republican, the Republican AI. And then the routine charges, they are on the high side. For the first 1.5 years that the government has been in power, they've increased electricity by 28%, and water has gone up. Transportation is on the high side, and it's affecting cost of doing business in this country. So we want the finance minister to talk about this, do something about it. And then there is the issue of foreigners, the influx of foreigners in the retail section. It's very bad. It's affecting almost every sector of our trading business in this country.
Now, the Bank of Ghana has warned that it will push for imprisonment and fines against persons and businesses that refuse to accept cedi and Peswa coins as payment for transactions. We've captured more in the following Business Desk report.
The Bank of Ghana, in a statement issued this morning, stated that the action does not only affect persons who refuse to accept these denominations, but also deliberately encourage others to do the same. According to the central bank, it has been forced to issue this reminder following persistent and widespread refusals by some transport operators and businesses to accept these coins as payments for goods and services.
Well, that's all in Business Update. Back to you, Nicholas.
Thank you so much, Breeze, for bringing us the latest in business. And that's it for the AM show. The AM show is also sponsored. The AM news on the AM show is sponsored by Palladium Residences. Up next is Sports with Haruna Mubarak.
Imagine a family without a home. Imagine a song without a voice. Imagine a church without prayers. Imagine a government without citizens. Imagine democracy without journalists. Imagine a world without the media. Life is full of issues and stories about people, communities, and governments. Stories that have to be told by well-trained journalists. That's why you can't imagine news without Joy News.
Let's do sports now on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak. So our first story, Ghana coach Carlos Queiroz could be part of a CAF review meeting to assess Africa's performance at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. CAF President Patrice Motsepe plans to bring together national team coaches, football experts and former players after Africa teams recorded their best ever performance at the global showpiece. Queiroz, who guided Ghana to the round of 32, is also expected to remain in charge as talks continue over a new two-year contract.
The success, and we're very proud of Egypt, and we're very proud of every single one of the 10 nations that went to the World Cup. Enormously proud. The success of any single national team at the World Cup, because the FIFA World Cup is the highest in the world, is something that all of us should be proud of. Because if any single country goes to the semifinals or finals or quarterfinals, they uplift the global respect and recognition of African football. So we are going to host a meeting. I'm told that Cabo Verde and some other countries want to host that meeting, where we are going to invite all of the coaches of the national teams that participated in the FIFA World Cup and others. And we're going to invite football experts, former legends on the continent, the smartest, the brightest, who've played at the highest levels in the world. And the purpose of that meeting is to talk about what can we do better? What do we learn from our performances in America and in Canada and in Mexico? Where is the room for improvement? Because we're very clear. And this is a different clarity in our mind, because it's a clarity that's backed up by results. Ghana played well, Cote d'Ivoire played well, Algeria. I mean, as I said, every single one of them. But we've got a clear plan. We've got an AFCON Pamoja next year. Next year we'll be in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. I'll talk about it. Enormous progress. And that is the flagship competition on the African continent. But we know that we've got players that are as good as the best in the world.
Now, Sports Minister Kofi Adams has confirmed that Ghana's entire earnings from the 2026 FIFA World Cup will be paid into the sports fund. Under Ghana's sports law, all prize and participation money from major international tournaments must be channeled into the fund to support sports development. Ghana earned about $30 million after reaching the round of 32 of the global showpiece.
Act 1159. And in that act are provisions for what we do with monies that we get when we participate in any international competition, including FIFA organized competition. There's a law that as a country, Ghana, we have, which every federation in the country is supposed to obey, including the FA. So, and that law says that every money we make in our participation in any competition, whether it is volleyball, whether it is basketball, whether it is badminton, whether it is football, or whatever it is at every level, whatever we make should go into the sports fund for development of sports. It doesn't matter who receives the money now. Even if it's paid to the FA or is paid through Bank of Ghana, immediately it must go into the sports. This is law. This is the law. When we were envisaging developing the law, we were looking at a percentage. But when the finance minister appeared before the committee, he was gracious enough to say that, look, for every investment that government makes in the various sporting events, he is budgeted for it. He's not expecting that he's going to make this amount of money or that amount of money from that investment in terms of the revenues that come. If we play well and we get it, his position is that it should go into the fund for further investment in developing the sport. So he was gracious to ask for 100% support the sports. And so now clearly, luckily for us with this, people have been questioning that in all our participation in the past, what can we pinpoint to as having used what we got the returns for? Now with this system that we have in place now, where what comes goes into the fund, you and you can track and ask questions tomorrow as to what exactly we've been able to do it, and we can pinpoint that this was used to do A, B, C.
To the Major League Soccer, Luis Suarez scored twice before Preston Plumberg netted a late winner as Inter Miami, without Lionel Messi, defeated Chicago Fire 3-2, spoiling Robert Lewandowski's debut. The 37-year-old Polish striker, he made his first league appearance for the club after his move from FC Barcelona. However, he remained or ended up on the losing side. Let's check out the highlights. To the transfer market, Liverpool have made an initial approach for Monaco winger Magnus Aluish. Now, Paris Saint-Germain are also interested in the 24-year-old and have made several bids. They've had their several bids rejected, with the latest, which is around £34 million. Sky Sports has more.
He's a France international. He was part of the French World Cup squad. Only got 7 minutes, actually, throughout the whole tournament against Iraq quite early in the tournament. This is where it gets interesting, though, because Paris Saint-Germain have made him a primary target in this transfer window. They've had several offers that have been rebuffed by Monaco, the latest of which was around £34 million. His contract runs until 2028, so something might have to come to a head in this summer's transfer window, because they can't really afford, if he's not going to sign a new contract, to allow him to go into the final year of his deal. As far as Liverpool are concerned, the squad, well, whoever has not been at the World Cup is out in Chicago for their pre-season tour, and Andoni Iraola, their new head coach, has been asked about transfer targets, and he did say that the winger position is one area that they are looking to strengthen in.
I think it's difficult to say a number when the market is open, and you have to be always open to new options to improve the squad, and there are obvious situations that we know that we need to sign players, where wingers, for example, no? We definitely need to sign a winger, but there are other situations that we will have to analyze.
It's intriguing, this, because PSG have been long-term admirers of Jan Diomande from RB Leipzig and, of course, Magnus Akliush from Monaco. It just so happens that Liverpool earlier on in this transfer window showed an interest in Jan Diomande and now are interested in Magnus Akliush.
Well, it's been an impressive rise for the 24-year-old. Over his 5 years in Monaco, he's played 109 league games, scoring 18 times and making 20 assists. He also recorded 138 created chances and 109 completed dribbles.
And that's how we wrap up this sports segment on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak. Have a good morning.
Palladium Residences in Achimota isn't just an address. Beautifully designed modern apartments or spacious townhouses built for everyday comfort. This is more than a building. It's a vibrant, curated community with a clubhouse, state-of-the-art gym, and an on-site hotel, all at ABC Junction, minutes from Achimota Mall. Enjoy city energy while retreating to your private sanctuary. Call now to reserve your unit and benefit from limited launch incentives, including priority unit selection, executive pricing, and flexible payment options available. Don't miss the chance to pick the best homes. Book your private site visit today. Call 050-9823-424. Palladium Residences. Live smart, invest better.
Through every stage of life, some things simply stay with us. The spirit of never giving up. A throwback to a bygone era. Love was service. The silent statement of love. A thoughtful gesture that deepens bonds, balancing work and life. Every drop refreshes, every sip hydrates, just as it should. I am awake, one for life. Drink water, drink awake. Supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert.
Hi. Now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park. Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park. Our electric shuttle pulled up, and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the Eco Park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat, undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown crane, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults, this price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It has been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
Upgrade your print game with Konica Minolta, proudly powered by SkySat Technologies. From all-in-one machines that print, scan, and copy to professional systems and heavy-duty production machines, we deliver unmatched performance. Right now, SkySat has an unbeatable offer. 1 entire year of free servicing on all Konica Minolta machines. That's 12 months of expert maintenance for new and existing customers. Visit our new VIP print center at Pegasus Place, Airport Residential Area for a live demonstration. Call us on 050-164-5180 or 0302-798-829. Again, it's 050-164-5180 or 0302-798-829. SkySat Technologies. Performance that delivers every time. Palladium Residences in Achimota isn't just an address, it's the home you truly earned. Secure your place with just a 10% deposit and choose from beautifully designed modern apartments or spacious townhouses built for everyday comfort. This is more than a building. It's a vibrant, curated community with a clubhouse, state-of-the-art gym, and an on-site hotel, all at ABC Junction, minutes from Achimota Mall. Enjoy city energy while retreating to your private sanctuary. Call now to reserve your unit and benefit from limited launch incentives, including priority unit selection, executive pricing, and flexible payment options available. Don't miss the chance to pick the best homes. Book your private site visit today. Call 050-9823-424. Palladium Residences. Live smart, invest better.
Welcome to Sulas Enterprise, the shop that deals in industrial machinery such as generators, rice millers, water pumps, compressors, and mowers. From the smallest to the largest capacity, at Sulas Enterprise, we give you nothing but the best from the best brands such as Honda and Perkins. When it comes to our generators, we also sell mowers coming from brands like Honda, Briggs and Straton, and Oleuma. And when it comes to our water pumps, we offer you brands like Lily, Prudin, and Pedrolo water pumps. We also sell rice millers for all capacities. We are located at Spintex Kakalika Plaza. Also, find our various locations as displayed on screen, or call us on the following number: 0243-839-463 or 0554-154-416 or 0240-541-493.
Sulas Enterprise, where quality meets affordability.
Zuera Mohammed Ibrahima, the Honorable Member of Parliament for the good people of the Salaga South constituency. My constituency in Salaga South, you know how far we've traveled. We traveled this path together, and you know me better. And I know you can go anywhere in this world, thump your chest and say, our Member of Parliament's democracy is not for sale. She's never sold it and she will never sell it.
Mrs. Bad referee decisions? Don't let your child's grade suffer a bad match. Ensure a straight win this academic season with curriculum-aligned textbooks and interactive tools from Pegasus Publishing. From preschool to senior high school, we have the exact game plan your kids need to ace their classes. And because it's World Cup season, you get a massive 20% off every single book. Don't drop points. Call 059-50-10175 or dash to Pegasus Publishing in Accra, Newtown, right opposite the Total Energy Station. Free delivery within Accra when you call. Pegasus Publishing, shaping minds, winning futures.
Hi, let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up, and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the eco park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown crane, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults, this price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It has been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
Safe water and safe food are essential for healthy communities. As climate change and urbanization heighten public health risk, finding sustainable solutions has become more urgent than ever. It's one of several critical conversations leading up to the International Conference on Energy and Engineering 2026, presented by the University of Energy and Natural Resources in collaboration with Joy News under the theme Engineering the Future, Energy, Agriculture, and Infrastructure Innovations towards Climate Resilience and Sustainable Development. The conference takes place from 30th September to 2nd October 2026. Ahead of the conference, join us this Friday on the AM show as we discuss safe water, safe food, healthy communities, protecting public health in a changing environment. With insights from Dr. Saeed Ibn Idris Kofi-Addo, lecturer at the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, UNER, Engineer Nana Osei Bunso Akison, acting head of Department Civil and Environmental Environmental Engineering, UNER, Engineer Dr. Prince Entry Ajay, Civil and Environmental Engineer, Environmental Health and Sanitation Specialist, Senior Lecturer, UNER, and Deputy Director of the Regional Center for Energy and Environmental Sustainability. Join the conversation this Friday on the AM Show.
Hello, beautiful people and garden lovers. Welcome once again to Home Tips with Mira. So I'm sitting right here in my garden, but when you look at it, it looks like a mini forest because life got so busy and I couldn't attend to my garden, and the weeds are having a wild party here. And not only that, they are also breeding mosquitoes, and I have to get rid of them as soon as possible. But in doing so, I have two options: either to go the old-fashioned way, which is weeding, or to go the super convenient and fast method, which is using weedicides. So let's go for a quick break, and when we come back, I'll tell you of these two methods which I chose and why. So I weighed the options and I came up with the option of using the traditional method of weeding. Of course, it's not easy. I'm going to break my back, it's labor intensive, and by the time you are weeding with one part, before you realize the other part has also staged a weed comeback, and you know, it's like a never-ending cycle. You weed, they come, you weed, they come, but it's worth it. And you know, weeding in your garden also helps you to connect with your garden, and it helps you to also, you know, maintain a healthy plant life in your garden without introducing any harmful chemicals in your garden. So if you also encounter similar challenge in your home garden, it's either you weed yourself or you get somebody to do the weeding for you. But if you have to get somebody to do the weeding for you, you would have to, you know, be there and show the person that these are the places that I would want you to weed. Because if you're an absentee gardener, you know, and you just tell the person, oh, this place is, you know, bushy, so weed it for me. Before you realize, the person has ended up cutting all your beneficial weeds. So you would have to be there to tell the person, oh, leave this one, cut this one, leave this one, or weed this one. I came to stand in my garden for a while, just observing the different kinds of plants that I have there, which I am calling weeds. I call them weeds because maybe at this point I don't have any use for them. But in fact, what we call weeds are beneficial plants. Just because we don't know its usage or its benefits is what makes us call them weed. But in fact, they are beneficial plants. And one of the reasons why I will desist from using weedicides in my garden is that these beneficial plants, I'll show you some of these beneficial plants in my garden. They have a lot of nutritional benefits and a lot of medicinal purposes. So let's look at some of these plants in my garden. So this is the asthma plant, which is good for respiratory issues. If you use weedicide in your home and the remnants are in the soil, what will happen if you plant your veggies? What will happen if somebody comes to your home to even pluck a plant that is you call that a weed, but the person is going to use it to treat an ailment. So these are some of the reasons why I desist from using weedicide in my home. Let me show you another plant. This plant is also called Acalypha indica, and it is used in some cultures to treat different ailments. But because I do not have need for it now, I will term it as a weed. It's in my garden, so I'm going to get rid of it. And this plant is also called stonebreaker. According to scientific research, it is used to help with kidney issues. You know, it can help with kidney issues. And I know that some people in Ghana also boil it for malaria and for other immune boosting properties. And I have it here in my garden. So for now, I have a lot. I have uprooted a lot and reserved it. I have dried it in a cool place, and from time to time I'll use it for tea. But for now, what I have here, I don't have use for it, so I'm going to cut it and weed it. But assuming I have used weedicide here, Next time, if it germinates, I cannot use it for any herbal medication again. I believe some of us know this weed. It is called khaki weed, and it is also in my garden as a weed. In fact, if you are walking barefoot, at times the thorns can harm you, so it is always advisable.
Zuera Mohammed Ibrahima, the Honorable Member of Parliament for the good people of the Salaga South constituency. My constituency in Salaga South, you know how far we've traveled. We traveled this path together, and you know me better. And I know you can go anywhere in this world, thump your chest and say, our Member of Parliament's democracy is not for sale. She's never sold it, and she will never sell it.
Mistresses, bad referee decisions. Don't let your child's grade suffer a bad match. Ensure a straight win this academic season with curriculum-aligned textbooks and interactive tools from Pegasus Publishing. From preschool to senior high school, we have the exact game plan your kids need to ace their classes. And because it's World Cup season, you get a massive 20% off every single book. Don't drop points. Call 059-50-10175 or dash to Pegasus Publishing in Accra, Newtown, right opposite the Total Energy Station. Free delivery within Accra when you call. Pegasus Publishing, shaping minds, winning futures.
So this strategy will lead. Oh no, not again.
Sir, relax. The generator will come on now.
The generator is not working.
Why stress yourself when the experts are just one tap away? Introducing Left Power, the smart emergency support app from Left Signature Limited. With Left Power, certified engineers respond fast, anytime, anywhere. No delays, no stories.
Hello, sir. This is Left Signature Limited. The request has been received and our engineers are already on their way. Please relax. We've got you covered.
This is professional. Every Left expert is certified, verified, and can be tracked in real time. Oh, you'll know they're coming before they even arrive. From electrical engineering and solar power systems to data center management, cloud services, smart automation, and software development, Left Signature delivers excellence, fast, reliable, and professional. Left Power.
Your solution is just one tap away.
Available on Play Store and App Store.
Hi, now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up, and in no time, our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the eco park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat, undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown cranes, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults, this price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It has been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
So to take very good care of yourself wherever they are germinating. If you just weed it or uproot it and throw away, there are seeds, and the seeds can be in the ground. When it rains again, it can germinate again, and you can pluck it as and when you need it for whatever you want to use it for, and it is so safe. But if you use weedicides, although it might come, it might still have remnants of the weedicide in the plant, and in the end, when you use it, instead of helping your body, it will go rather to harm your body. This is a seed that has germinated in my garden, and when you use weedicides in your garden, it kills the seed life in your garden, because there are times that maybe you have planted some pepper, and when you harvest, some of the seeds can fall and the seeds can be buried in the sand. So anytime it rains, although you have not planted it, pepper will just germinate in your garden. And so has this. In fact, it is a neem seed. And at times you can also have bats. They will drop their poop in your gardens, and some of these seeds will just germinate. Fruits that you haven't even planted before, they will just germinate in your garden. But if you use weedicides, it kills all these seeds that are buried in the soil in your garden. So these things that we call weeds, they provide a habitat and food for beneficial insects for our garden. And these beneficial insects, they help with pollination. When you have your beautiful flowers, they'll just go and suck out the nectar and then transfer it to the other one, and pollination takes place. Some of these are butterflies and even bees. And I have this plant, which is called a tar vine plant, and it provides food for the tar vine caterpillar, and it changes into a beautiful moth. And when you see the moth, oh, it's so beautiful. When you use weedicide in your home, it kills all these beneficial insects that even help with pollination in your garden. So another reason why I don't use weedicide in my home. Weeds can also be used as mulch, and by mulch I mean gather the leaves and lay them at the base of your plants, or even if you are preparing a new garden and you are nursing some seeds, you can just spread the weeds on top of the seeds so that the sun rays does not hit directly to the new plant that is about germinating. And also you can lay them at your already grown plants so that it helps to maintain moisture in the soil for the plant. And you can also turn your weeds into liquid fertilizer, and this provides a lot of nutrients for your plants. I'll do an episode on how to prepare a liquid fertilizer later. Many common weeds are also edible. So weeds like the dandelions, you don't really plant the dandelions. They come just to you. All right, so the dandelions, the purslane, they are all weeds, but they are very edible and they are very beneficial. They are packed with lots of nutrients. So if you don't know, you call them as weeds. And sometimes I pluck these dandelions and I use them in my salad, and I even add them to my smoothies and juices. So another reason why I don't use weedicides, because some of these weeds are edible. Weedicides also harm the earthworms that turn the soil and provide nutrients in our garden. And when they are not there, can you imagine the nutrients that the plants will be getting from the soil? None. These are the reasons why I don't use weedicides in my home and in my garden, because although it is fast, it is convenient, it has a lot of consequences for the garden's ecosystem. And for weeding, it is what I will call labor of love. It is at times painful, you break your back, but trust you me, it is worth it, and your garden will forever be thankful that anytime weeds pop up, it's a sure sign that your garden is thriving well, and your garden will be grateful if you pick a cutlass or a hoe, or whenever it rains, you will just uproot the weeds. Thank you so much for sticking and staying, and please, as much as you take care of yourself, if you are a home gardener, also try and take care of your garden. Show some tender love and care to your garden, and your garden will be very grateful. Until we meet again, it is bye-bye.
My name is Albert Sori in the Upper East Regional Capital, Bolgatanga, and this is Joy News, independent, fearless, credible.
Ghana is at the mercy of the drastic impact of climate change. Unmitigated sunshine, unpredictable rainfall, and depleting soil fertility, among others. How can the country deal with the threat of climate change while solving some of its basic problems? In a series of human-centered stories, we shine a light on some of the most basic innovative ideas that could help bring change.
This is Northern Ghana, where the consequences of climate change are not just statistics, but stark realities that shape the destinies of its people.
In the dry season, the little water remaining in the dam for us to use becomes muddy, making it difficult for us to use it.
Climate Focus is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with Youth Bridge Foundation, Bridging Gaps for Positive Youth Development, and the Climate Development Knowledge Network.
Joy FM, Adom FM, and democracy is by choice. Not cash, not coercion, not corruption. Vote buying silences the will of the people. Unchecked illicit political financing weakens the very sovereignty of a state. Democracy falters when everyone's choice is compromised. An unprecedented multimedia politician-citizen forum brought to you by Joy News Impact Makers Foundation. This community-level engagement will spotlight illicit political financing, explore its implications, and proffer solutions to safeguarding Ghana's democracy. Democracy is not for sale. On Joy News, Adom TV, Joy FM, Adom FM, and across our social media platforms.
Well, thank you so much for staying with us
Well, time now to review the news. We're going to be dealing with a lot of matters arising, but top of the stories this morning will be the mid-year budget review. What are your expectations? I don't have expectations. Why? Because it's just a review of what the budget has been presented. But is he likely to do some adjustments? Yes. Should he make some adjustments? Maybe. Should he tell us how much he's been spending? Maybe. But these are not questions for me to answer. We'll have the experts to answer these questions a bit later. We understand that this review will be later in the day, but we shall definitely bring you a continuous coverage of that energy, the momentum. We'll maintain it till that bag heads to Parliament and do the delivery according to the Constitution. We have other matters arising. Of course, illegal mining is a conversation that we're still exploring. We know that Chairman Wontumi appeared in court briefly yesterday. Why? We're lucky to have one of his legal representatives joining us today. We'll get into that. But the Ahanta Pele is on standby, and I'm just going to bring you the weather forecast before we start the news review. Kojo, you like that, right?
Yeah, I like
I want people to stay ahead of the weather, so take a look. Well, thank you for staying. I don't know if you understood it, but this is the brief of it. As highlighted, they've been mentioning that the northern sector will continue to experience moderate to heavy thunderstorm with rain, accompanied by occasional gusty winds as the active rain bearing cloud system persists. That was on the screen, but it was quite sharp. I doubt you caught it. But a few coastal and inland communities may also experience brief spells of light rain or drizzle. Surely I experienced that drizzle. Did you? I hope you stay safe. So let's bring you the news review now. An AM News Review is sponsored by, I'll bring you who sponsors us shortly, but Syntex Pipes and Pegasus Publishing. But Kojo, let's get to know what's in front of the newspapers. I'll introduce my guest shortly.
Okay.
With somebody walking into the frame. Yeah. Was somebody deciding to want to come later and walk into the frame like that? I'll tell you who
he's your favorite, too.
He's not my favorite.
Your favorite.
My favorite. Who's favorite than you? Why do you want to give your position to somebody?
Oh, no, we have to bring him into the frame. Anyway, let's start with the Daily Guide newspaper. Banner headline.
One meeting, gentlemen.
Okay. So, Baumia MP storm in Sawam prison. Yesterday there was that report, and I saw a video later of, the convoy that went into the place. I saw someone commenting, hey, opposition pony, and someone asked him, why are they your cars? And someone said, are you assuming that all the cars are for Baumia? No. So he went in a company of it, but it was beautiful. They went to, sympathize with the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the party, Chairman Wontumi, who has been incarcerated in the Nsawam prison now. Again, Wontumi declared political prisoner. Well, that's the position of the NPP. They adduce the argument and then conclude that per the foregoing that they've said, it means that there's nothing that can describe him than to say that he's a political prisoner. Let's see how that particular one goes, because they have indicated strongly that they will be opposing, they will be filing an appeal against his sentencing. So let's see how that one goes. Again, court rules on Hanan charges today. So it's a big day in court again today. We'll see how it goes. 2 busted with 100 wee parcels. Parliament approves $822 million World Bank loans. And it was a huge debate yesterday. Now, on the 2026 media budget review, which will be coming up today, Mahama, in quote, forging economic success, NPP. Now, the argument is that a lot of the data that is helping them to sing praises about the economy are not accurate. That's the argument that is being put up. But, you know, Kojo when he gets up in Parliament, he changes a lot of these, you know, economic figures that really sort of dazzle a lot of people. He is saying that the figures that are being used, but the Minister of Finance will come up with the data today. We'll get to know what exactly is happening to the economy. You know that the foreign exchange has stabilized over a period. Inflation is down and all of that. They will be telling us how much more and what we'll get to hear about the economy getting into December. Now, Daily Graphic at AU Health Summit in Accra, President urges self-reliant healthcare. That's our president there, dazzling the African president when he hosted them in Ghana. He says he has urged African nations to break free from dependence on external partners and build self-reliant health systems at the opening of the African Union Extraordinary Summit on universal health coverage and ending 8 in Accra yesterday. Now, Education Ministry set to introduce revised KG primary curriculum. Hey, we are revising every time. Okay, anyway, let's see how that one goes. Media budget review today. I won't ask for more money, Finance Minister says. So at least we have an indication how it will go. He says he's not coming to ask for more money. There won't be that indication. Oh, yes,
now
he only has.
Or ask Obinya Wefa.
I'll ask Obinya Wefa. And I was going vote in him.
Okay.
He has enough money today. That's Ato Forson speaking there. You know how they call it? Ato is Forson.
Okay.
Have you been reading that one?
I've been hearing it.
You know, our man and
supposed to be doing his job, so.
Oh. Yeah. So they say he's Forson.
Okay.
And, he's got Ato Forson. So Ato is Forson. Interesting. Access Bank Ghana picks 2 Euro Money Awards. That is what is there. Spider. FDA shuts down 44 poison plants in Accra. Food safety crackdown there. The tribunal bill, what is Baumia's fear? Someone is asking. I think if you listen to his that broadcast, he indicated what exactly he wants done to that bill. Stop insulting Mahama or lose 2028. MPP aspirant blast party foot soldiers. Okay. And Parliament 44% debt claim ignite political firestorm. And fisheries reset, new law, marine protected area, blue economy drive launched. And that comes with the Minister for Fisheries there. How can I forget my own Shama MP? Can you help me with the name? Hamza.
Afa.
Help me with the fisheries minister. Oh, how can I forget my own?
This woman.
Her name is Arthur.
Emilia Arthur. She's doing some wonderful work in the fishery sector because she's worked in that sector for so long. She knows the ins and outs of it. So there's something happening there. Let's do myjoyonline.com. Finance Minister to present 2026 media budget review today.
Tomorrow we come and you forget somebody's name, you call Hamza, okay? I'm sitting here, you jump me, poly to go to Hamza to go ask for their name. Tomorrow you can come with your phone.
By you, Eddie, I call it.
It's no bad, no after Hamza.
He the matasi, Manelli. By whom I don't know what holding tea.
I remember.
That's a good one.
We don't have a trust crisis. BOG urges vigilance against rising digital fraud. Yesterday on that particular conference where, forum we had here about the digital fraud, we said the trust crisis. Digital trust crisis looming if fraud concerns are ignored. Now, BOG says we don't have trust crisis, but the Association of Banks is saying that no, we have a digital trust crisis looming. It is coming.
It's looming.
If fraud concerns.
It's the same. This is looming. This one says we don't have it.
No.
So it's the same.
But yeah, I get in the present. But this guy is indicating that there's something happening underneath. If you watch the documentary before, it tells you that some people have been defrauded and it reduces the trust they have in the system. And this guy says, no, you have to do something about it. I hope it was not dismissive anyway. High Court grants police assistance order. Charlie, this story. Emefa.
Yeah.
High Court grants police assistance order for receiver to take possession of Cheddar's number 1 Oxford Street Hotel. Yesterday when I saw this story, I was like, what is happening? So I wanted to understand. And per the story, there's been a ruling in the UK where I think his company used this as an asset to access a certain funding. And the UK has then ruled that company from whom I think that particular funding was sought for can take this hotel because I think there are issues with the payment. But they were having difficulties. And the High Court in Ghana has ruled that police should assess the receiver, they name the names, the owner or so, to then take over this. Charlie.
It's worrying you.
Business there.
Business, you win and lose some.
But I believe that they can come to a compromise, and see how the young man can settle them. This is a beautiful asset. If it is with a young man, he could probably, maybe if they span the years, he could work to repay whatever loan it is, But let's see. Fraud cases involving fintechs rising as criminals exploit payment channels, Ebenezer Boffor says. So a lot from our digital fraud forum there. Emefa, I would want to pause here and hand it over to you so you could...
What are you looking forward to today's media budget review?
Well, for us in the agri sector, we are not, for example, rice. We are being outplayed in the market. So what strategies or policies is government implementing to ensure that we become competitive so we can sell more? Because as we sell more, we'll be able to do what? Create more employment. And I always say that agric is the avenue for government to reduce unemployment. If we don't look at that area so well, we can talk about anything to do to reduce unemployment. We can't. So I want to hear from the minister what he has for local producers like me. Our company we produce rice, we produce oil, we produce poultry. But we struggle in selling. Look, we have to reduce our rice from 450 to 380 now. Even that. So a reduction of 70 Ghana cedis. Even that, we're still struggling. So what can government do intentionally to help us local producers? That's what I'm looking out for.
Okay. Well, let's get into the matters arising. Kojo, I think just maybe you might be back here again.
Yeah. So when you are taking on the budget issue.
Absolutely. It's one of the biggest stories to discuss, but we still have a hangover on Chairman Wunti's conviction, right? Yeah, and usually from my uncles who are drunkards, I have no knowledge about it, but for my uncles who are drunkards, when they have a hangover, they say, drink more the next morning. So that it will help you.
I had never had that before one day. I had it. Now, I'm not good at alcohol. So we were going to do an event, and my wife saw me take something. She said, Kojo, now I'm so. And I didn't say, Emefa. They were having the event. I was lying down. Everybody was passing by me. I could do nothing. Then I called my friend, and I called me. I said, Nana, it
is on this principle that we're still going to be talking about the Chairman Wuntumi matter. I know that we'll be talking about it for days now, and today's budget review. We have definitely a much bigger conversation on that later on the show. We've lined up experts as well. Together with our panelists, we're going to be talking about the mid-year budget review. But let's start the conversation on existing matters, right? We're joined this morning by Solomon Owusu. He is Director of Communications for the United Party. Bernard Oredu is lawyer and member of the NPP Communications team. And Dr. Joshua Zato is senior lecturer and political analyst. Hamza Suhini is lawyer and member of the NDC Communications team. A little later, I shall add up to the panelists, experts in our economy, later to have a conversation on the budget review. So you want to stay with me here. Maybe just, if you promise to stick to just a few seconds, I'll take your expectations of the review today before we go back to Chairman Wuntu. If you promise to stick to the 30 seconds each. You want to promise?
I can't promise.
You can't promise. I'm going to go to the lawyer. Can you promise?
Well, I'll do my best.
Okay, Hamza, 30 seconds, expectations. Yeah. Would you promise? Yes. Dr. Zato, would you promise? I'm taking Solomon out and starting with you.
Well,
he's honest. He said
I can't promise, so, but I will speak.
So let him try, probably.
So you're starting with Zato, the lecturer that can do summary.
Let's start with you. Your expectations.
What am I expecting apart from the fact that the budget must lead to one conclusion? Transformation of the economy. I mean, what else? We have limited resources. It's the reason why we do budget. So the allocation of resources must be to the benefit of the entire people. We have a huge unemployment situation with our country. Yes, the economic indicators have stabilized, but that must lead to the transformation that all of us are yearning for. So that is the only expectation I'm expecting from the minister.
Okay.
Well, for me, it's also about employment. I mean, if there will be any allocations, I think that there should be enough to see some interventions when it comes to youth unemployment. You remember just about last week, the National Development Planning Commission, they described the growth in the economy as a jobless growth because it did not align with the creation of employment. So I'd be happy to see more allocations, more interventions at reducing youth unemployment.
Okay. Hamza?
I think good morning to you, good morning to my colleagues in the studio. I cherish you. The last year and a half or so, the Minister of Finance indicated that the objective was consolidation, getting us out of the crisis, consolidating the gains, and hopefully this year we'll begin to look at the prospects of growth and how that growth would be able to throw out jobs, not just for our teeming youth in this country, but most importantly, even the women folks. Many of our mothers out there who are desirous of a change in circumstances in terms of the trades that they are engaged in. So hopefully this will be a momentous opportunity for us to especially start the Women's Development Bank. So I'm hoping that this mid-year budget will signal that urgency in terms of our readiness to make funds available to many of our women out there to be able to do their own businesses. And so
I totally agree. Especially government spokesperson mentioned that the Women Development Bank should start this year. So something
yes.
Dr. Zato.
Good morning. Farmers in Tumu, farmers in Wallinjam, Bogojam, farmers in Nablu, farmers in Mandron, farmers in Salah East will be looking to this finance minister. And we're looking for one thing. We can't afford fertilizers. We can't afford seed. We can't afford pesticides and weeds for their farms. And that is genuine. A lot of land is lying there they cannot farm because of the dual issue of low maize prices and high cost of inputs. Those farmers should be looking to the finance minister and asking a very simple question. What do you have for us? I pray he has something positive for them.
Okay. Okay. I like the pace at which we are going. Let's maintain the momentum.
I don't think we can promise that.
Let's talk. Since the conviction of Chairman Wontumi, I've not met you panelists yet. I've seen your comments on social media, Solomon. Dr. Zato, I'm not sure I've seen your comments on that yet. But I will start with all of you before I go to the lawyer and ask about the appeal and other matters arising, especially because he belongs to the NPP Communications team. Solomon, this entire process of the conviction of Chairman Wontumi, the pushback by the NPP and all of that, if you followed the process or not, do you identify any gaps? What's your qualms about the conviction?
Well, let me say that having read the judgment from a layman's perspective, and having listened to the NPP, and especially some of his lawyers, and my brother is here, Ben is here, he does good with his law. I find it very difficult to believe that an appeal could overturn this situation. And I say so based on what I have read. Because you see, Emefa, you ask yourself, what were the charges? Practically 2 charges. Assignment of mineral rights without approval, contrary to Section 14.1 and 99.2b. And I mean, that is practically, that was a charge. One to me had a concession. One to me decided to give that concession to another person called Okum Henry. Now, one to me was required by the law under Section 14.1 to seek approval from the minister. And that approval is not supposed to be verbal. It's not supposed to be oral. It's supposed to be a written authorization. Now, the question you ask yourself is whether or not that written authorization was provided by the minister. From all indications, from all intents and purposes, from all that took place in court, there was none. And so clearly, one to me fell short of the law. Now, people say that this whole thing is not about Galamsey, and that it was just a matter of not complying with the laws of the land. You see, the background to this whole case must be established, as is captured in page 5 of the judgment. And with your permission, I'll read so that we get a better understanding of what we are discussing. On the 16th of April 2025, the police embarked on a special operation dubbed Anti-Galamsey. So it must be established that the operation that the police undertook was to deal with illegal mining in the Western region. This operation led to the arrest of one Michael Jeduayesi and 28 others in the Samaraboy forest within around a concession belonging to the third accused, that is Akonta mining. So the police undertook an operation to deal with an illegal mining. They entered a place in Samaraboy. They realized that there were some people over there doing illegal mining, and they were arrested. That is the background to this. Now, when they were the people at the site were arrested, they saw a structure there. I mean, this is how Wuntumi's name came in. They saw a structure there with the inscription Akonta mining. So that drew some alertness for the police to do further investigation. They asked who allowed those that were arrested to be on site. Then they mentioned another person's name called Henry Okum. It was the Okum that came to tell the entire world that, yes, I was given the permission to enter that land by one Bernard Nchimosiaku, a.k.a. Chairman Wontumi. And so the rest, I'm sure you know about it. Wontumi claims he gave the site to the person to do what we call reclamation. The guy says, no, you gave it to me for me to mine. So Wuntumi's word against Okum's word. But then you come to the analysis or the logic behind it. You ask yourself whether the Okum had the license to be doing what we call reclamation or to do mining. Because to do reclamation, you needed a license called mine support. Meanwhile, he was holding a license that allows him to do what? Small-scale mining. So how could he have transformed or transitioned from doing a small-scale mining into doing a reclamation? Now, the next thing you ask is, reclamation comes at a cost. Was he, they wouldn't pay him for doing that? It came to light in court. In fact, his own defense witness one established that yes, to do reclamation cost money. Wontumi claims that he was to plant the coconut or grow the coconut trees, and then when it grows, harvest and use the proceeds to what? Pay. I mean, does this sound for you? Okum was saying, no, this was not what we agreed. You told me that I should mine and then take some of the proceeds to do the reclamation. Between these two scenarios, I would rather go with Okum's one. So it's been established. Now, if it is established that yes.
Why would you rather go with the Okum?
No, because the point is that first
did they prove what he's saying, or because he's a witness in the matter?
No. It's not that. I just told you that it costs money to do what we call reclamation. Now, the Okum himself wasn't in a position to provide that money, because if you look at what took place in court, even when Wuntumi led him to go and purchase excavators, he couldn't pay all. He struggled to even pay for the excavators. How much more was he going to get money to engage in that reclamation? So if you put one and one together, it tells you that the intent of Wuntumi was not the reclamation, but to mine and use the proceeds to do this. And so once it has happened that this way, that you gave the land or the site without authorization, the next thing to do is whether or not it frowns on the law. That is what section 14.1 says, and 99.2b also deals with. So in terms of how the judge arrived at a conclusion, well, they say they have identified about 20 grounds of appeal. The right to appeal is germane. You can do it at any given time. Their legal right. I want to see the appeal that they put forward, and we all will be following through.
Okay.
But I was reading your headline, and I saw one of the headlines saying that this is political. Wuntumi is a political prisoner. Is that the case?
That's what the NPP believes.
Why not? But can you give me the definition of who a political prisoner is?
If you check it on Google, it has a clear.
So check your Google and let's go through and see. This morning we are doing.
We'll go to the person. We'll go to the people who purport it's a political.
No, assist me.
Yes.
So that I can.
And then we'll go to them.
So let me assist.
When I come to him.
All right. I was going to assist him.
We would come to him because it's a question he needs.
Of course, but the point is that.
You want to land on you.
So the point is that from where I sit, anybody that says Wuntumi is a political prisoner is being economical with the truth. First of all, was the issue a political issue? Wuntumi went to court, he was charged, he had his counsel, he brought in defense witnesses he called for, he was allowed to go through all the processes without being truncated, and at the end of the day, there was a judgment on the matter. So where lies the political prisoner? Where lies it? We must not be mixing the two together. And that's why I thought that was a political miscalculation, what the MPP did. Because now the impression that they are creating out there is that when you do something wrong against the state, in this case, Galamsey, that has caused close to 4 million Ghanaians to contract kidney problems, because you wear a political color, you must be allowed to go off the hook. So how would the MPP in 2020 go back to the Ghanaians and say that they will deal with the issues of Galamsey when they are rather protesting against an incarceration of one of their own? I will leave it here and hear from my brother Ben what he makes of being a political prisoner.
I have some.
I mean, reserved for the last lot.
Yes, so I'm coming to Hamza.
I mean, reserved for the last lot.
Who reserved you for that?
She reserved me for the last lot.
I did.
On what ground?
Hey, she decided.
Are
you questioning the host?
I did.
Yes, she did.
I kept him for the last round. No,
then
it's not.
I would decline the invitation this morning on a simple principle, and I'll explain why. I do not speak for the judiciary of the Republic of Ghana. I speak for the National Democratic Congress. The National Democratic Congress is not in court as far as the Wuntumi case is concerned. And as far as we are concerned, if there are consents, the appeal processes are there for the Wuntumi and his legal team to take advantage of.
Okay.
However, if the NPP runs commentary on the matter, an invitation then is extended to me as a government spokesperson. If they run commentary and they make it political, then I'll be in a position to respond to the concerns that they are raising.
I've not asked you your question yet. I've not asked you.
So really?
No,
you should have started.
No, so that's the point I am making. She said she asked me questions.
I haven't.
She said she asked me questions. So let me listen.
Please be fair to the host.
I came to you first.
So
I said I'm coming to Hamza. I've not asked him a question, so I don't know what question he's answering.
But in fairness,
who is answering?
No.
I'm coming to you. I've not.
Leave the moderation.
I'm not answering the question.
No problem. I mean, you can go. You can go.
So what's the position? You don't want to comment on?
I was trying to understand. I don't know what to comment on.
No, because I've
wait
not
for your question
yet.
Wait for your question.
Because you said you are reserving for who to respond to the concerns that he's coming to.
Wait
because
for your question, Hamza.
Is he a lawyer for
I'm not sure what's going on this morning already.
I'm even surprised.
No, is he a lawyer for Wuntu?
No,
I'm
guess
not.
what?
But wait for your question.
Guess
Please
what?
wait for your question.
When
let's proceed.
Solomon ended, he sought to throw the baton back to him, and I said, no, he can't choose who speaks. I will choose who.
But really,
she's in charge.
And I'm saying that I want to go to Hamza. Hamza,
because the matter concerns. Listen,
why wouldn't you wait for Hamza's question?
I referenced a statement that had been made
let me.
by the political prisoners. You said
yes, and I was seeking.
Let's not drag it.
And I'm saying that I have questions for the lawyer over there.
Yes,
but in the meantime, I'll go to him later. I want to come to Hamza.
No problem.
Hamza has made it very simple. He will respond to what the other political party has on the Chairman Wontumi matter. It makes it very simple. They assert that they perceive he is a political prisoner. Is it something you agree? If you don't agree, what are the reasons?
First of all, I think I've made this point on another platform, and it is important for us to put it in perspective. The most difficult decision, the most painful decision for any president, for any government, for any attorney general, is to have a citizen, regardless of political party persuasion, thrown into jail. It is not a pleasant experience for any president with emotional feeling. It is not a pleasant experience for any party that cares about its citizens. It is not a pleasant experience for anybody appointed into the office of Attorney General or Deputy Attorney General. And so that point needs to be made. However, necessity requires, and for the sake of democratic stability and accountability, that from time to time, these painful decisions would have to be taken by a president, by a government, and by the Attorney General's office. It does not mean that we do not recognize the implications it will have on our citizens and their family. And so on the basis of that, I can understand the pain of Chairman Wontumi. I can understand the frustration of family members of Chairman Wontumi and what this verdict would mean for them. Same pain, I can appreciate government's dilemma. The need to ensure that you do not have your citizens thrown in jail regardless of their partisanship, but also taxed with the constitutional responsibility of ensuring accountability and ensuring that there is semblance of sanctity when it comes to our democratic space. And so that point needs to be made. And that is why I do not think that this is a political prisoner and this is partisanship, because this is not a victory for the National Democratic Congress. This is in pursuit of sanctity on behalf of the Republic of Ghana. And so that point needs to be made. Emefa, my brother made references to the legalities. I've had the benefit of reading the entire judgment. And I can also declare on this table, but with a caveat, I'm not a judge. But having read that judgment from the lady judge, they say that women are known for how meticulous they can be, especially when it comes to the application of the law. Having read that judgment, I struggle to appreciate where the so-called over 20 grounds of appeal Atachia is speaking about is going to come from. And I'll explain to you why.
Okay.
First of all, when the judgment was read, the NPP released, Minority in Parliament released a statement, and they made references to 3 grounds, based on which they refer to it as politically influenced. The first, they said that Wontumi was denied counsel. He didn't have access to counsel. An obvious lie. Deception, intending to hoodwink many of us, especially unsuspecting citizens. Why is it a lie? We all know that the Honorable Adeti Akubi was the first counsel for Wontumi.
In fact,
from when he was arrested.
But for that started.
Well, so from when he was arrested at Ioko, it was Andy who was leading the charge, the Honorable Andy. Then subsequently they were in court. Godfrey took over, handed over to the Honorable Andy Akubi,
yes,
who proceeded, only for us to be told by the judge that indeed ruling was to be given on the 3rd of July, 2026. Right?
I think it was 4th.
It was 3rd.
It was 3rd.
It was 3rd of July, 2026. For some strange reason, Andy decided to recuse himself or to resign from being the lawyer to...
He gave his reasons.
It doesn't matter.
He didn't begin it.
It's normal practice. It's normal practice. But he knows as a lawyer and as a practitioner, just as I do, that these are antics we have in our legal bags to buy time.
You can say that for certainty.
Yes, and you know it is a fact. What did the judge do? The judge could have proceeded to give a ruling. The judge didn't. He gave them ample time to find a replacement, and submissions were made by that replacement, that is Atachia, before the judge. That was why the 3rd July deadline for ruling was not followed through. Atachia had ample time. Now the judge sets another date for trial. All of a sudden, Atachia, for judgment, all of a sudden Atachia says that, look, I'm not available. And we know, again, as practitioners, that when it comes to judgment, whether you are there or not, judgment will be delivered. And interestingly, lawyers from Atachia's firm were duly represented in court, and it is allowed in our practice. So where from this lie?
You were in court that day, were you not?
He was, and I'll get there. Where from this lie that is being driven again by Afenyo Markin, known for such lies. And I'm not missing my words.
You can't say that. Okay. But Emefa, you would have to step it.
I think you can make the point without having to go.
He can't say that.
No, but if some
no, come on.
There are many
Hamza, you know you can't do that. You need to withdraw.
If you are proving that particular one,
you want me to give you examples of his lies?
Yeah, because I don't recall.
Emefa, your platform cannot be used.
But I'm dealing with it.
No, Emefa, you have to. How can you say that the minority leader is known for that? I mean, you would have to intervene.
Are you the host?
No. Emefa,
I am asking questions. I'm asking questions. When is your turn? I think you guys should learn from Dr. Zato.
He's not here to defend
Hamza.
You can't call.
So allow him to defend them.
Emefa would have to come.
I'm asking Hamza. He said that he told a lie. He was proving that lie, but he has veered to other parts. And I'm saying, which other parts are these? Hear me. You said that the minority leader is known for such lies.
That is very unfortunate.
And I'm saying that you are dealing with one particular thing which you find as a lie. We're coming along with you, but you have invited us to some areas you say are lies. What are these lies? I don't think it was necessary. I think you can make the point without having to go to other lies, unless you can tell me the other lies.
He knows that in law.
No.
Yes,
I don't know.
But this is a gentleman again who lied.
No, withdraw that. Hamza, you know very well.
I want to hear him. Unless he doesn't have a problem.
You can't call the venerable minority leader to be known for lies. I mean, you can't do that.
Bernard,
rather ask him what
I won't ask him. He has to withdraw it.
But if he's a liar, he must withdraw.
What if it's true? What if it's true?
No,
I'm interested. I'm interested.
You want to ask him why he's referring to the minority?
Maybe he has proof. Maybe he has proof. He's a lawyer. He knows the consequences.
No, but I can
something.
No, you are not the one talking, Mr.
All right.
So you agree that people know that he's a liar?
How many people?
But he's just telling that he can give examples.
You have made a categorical statement here that
and the host is
leader,
asking him to prove it. That's all.
And I'm saying that
I don't think you would have to
let them allow me to speak.
I'm saying that he can't. You see, we are not at the point where he has to withdraw it.
Okay.
He's making his submission.
Please.
The man is a lawyer. I don't think.
This country, when I promise that
Solomon, get a grip of yourself.
All right. Thank you very much.
Lawyer, please get a grip.
Yeah, sure. Hamza is a good.
First of all, we're in this country when they said Afenyo Markin told all of us that the judge who decided, what's the name? The Pandaiba election.
Yes.
Had been influenced by the National Democratic Congress. You remember? And that it was an affront to our judicial architecture without any scintilla of evidence.
And that makes
but that was a lie.
The man is expressing his views and you call him a liar. He's expressing his views. Are you not expressing your view here?
That's an accusation.
Are you not expressing your view here?
No, but listen.
No. He has the right.
But he accused.
No, come on.
If he accused without any evidence.
Hamza, I don't think you told this lie.
Hamza.
I'm not sure you should continue to.
Hamza.
The man is expressing his view and you're calling him a liar.
Let's have a very.
Are you not expressing your view about that? minority leader
let's
right now.
Let's have a sanitized conversation.
Yes,
this matter.
I'm not here to make him comfortable.
No, I'm not even expecting that.
So
no, but I am here for the audience.
Hamza, you can do
it.
And so
out of respect,
you can make
I'll let that go. But you see, it is important to state that the statement they issued indicating that the gentleman didn't have legal representation was a clear lie. Secondly, another issue they raised had to do with the issue of compliance, or what's the name, a breach in terms of the referral principle.
To the Supreme Court.
That the Attorney General, Atachia, had raised an issue of interpretation. And to the extent that an issue of interpretation was raised, there was the need for the judge to refer it to the Supreme Court for interpretation. Yes. That is another misinterpretation of the law. Especially, I know they reference the issue of the case of expert Senator Rollins.
Yes, the Senator case.
Clearly, my brother notes, we've had this discourse before. Though expert Senator indicated that judges must be willing to refer, but the court also was quick to add that we also must be careful to inundate the Supreme Court with needless matters dressed under the guise of interpretation when actually is no interpretation. And that judges are allowed to apply the law, especially at the higher court, lower courts. Lower than the Supreme Court. If I say lower court, I mean lower than the Supreme Court. That is the high court. And that judges can interpret. If you have a problem with the interpretation, the grounds of appeal still remains open to you. And even for the first time on appeal, you can raise an issue of interpretation, and he knows, clearly espoused in the case of Republic and Dexter, that you can actually raise an issue of interpretation for the first time on appeal. And so the opportunities are not closed on you. You can take advantage of the appeal process and appeal. Now, back to the substance of the judgment, Emefa. You see, I have read the judgment. The judge says, she listened to all of them. And in law, circumstantial evidence that leads to one irresistible conclusion of guilt on the part of an accused person is as good as a judgment not delivered on the basis of circumstantial evidence. He knows. So let nobody create an impression that to the extent that the grounds were circumstantial means that the gentleman is not guilty. That is not the law of the Republic of Ghana. Circumstantial evidence is as good as any other form of evidence in establishing good, provided that it leads to one irresistible conclusion of guilt on the part of the accused person. And the judge, interestingly and lucidly demonstrated that point. How can you say that you contracted a gentleman to go and do reclamation for you, and yet you were not interested in the nature of the job that the person was doing? It doesn't make sense. I have contracted you to come to my land and do reclamation, and I'm not interested in following up to ascertain the kind of work you are doing for me.
Does the law require him to?
Yes, it does.
It does?
It does.
Where can I find it?
Section 59.
Of the Minerals Act?
Gives a process, even how to get the gentleman to go to the land.
Okay.
And subsequently, you have to monitor. And if the gentleman is done, you have to communicate back in the name of reclamation. You have to communicate back to the Minerals Commission. That was not followed. So there was a breach of Section 59, not just Section 14 of the Minerals and Mining Act. That point needs to be made. Because I have listened to my brother say that, assignment, to the extent that Wuntumi did not execute any deed.
Which brother is this?
Bernard. To the extent that...
Have I spoken this morning?
No, but I've listened to you on another.
On other platforms, okay.
To the extent that Wuntumi has not executed a deed transferring title to Henry Okume and Co. There was no assignment. But if you read Section 14, it just is not talking about assignment. Section 14 is also talking about encumbrance. And the judge made references to the fact that, and defined encumbrance beautifully with reference to the Black Laws Dictionary. And says that to the extent that they were on the land with his authority, it constituted encumbrance. and a violation of Section 14. And if you look at Section 99(2)(b) of the Act, it is also clear that where penalties have not been prescribed for certain offenses under the Act, this will be the penalty if you are engaged in it. Minimum 15 years, maximum 25 years. So if you look at Section 14 and Section 59, you may not see penalties under those sections for failure to comply. But that lacuna has been filled by Section 59, Section 99(2)(b), which says 15 years and 25 years. So you cannot be arguing that Section 99(2)(b) is vague.
Which is where they wanted to see clarity on.
Absolutely. Exactly. And the judge made the point that
she's quite clear in her mind on that.
Clear.
Okay.
Again, on the issue.
You not wanting to veer into judicial matters.
Yes.
You just want to
again on the issue of
be getting ready to land. Let me just
I acknowledge that. Again, on the issue of lifting of the corporate veil, they say, the company's code, per the company's code of Ghana, Akonta mining is a separate legal entity. Fair, true, that is the law. But one thing they fail to tell you is that that same law indicates 3 grounds upon which that company veil can be lifted. For the state to go directly after the shareholders or directors of a company. And you know, first, it can be lifted, it can be influenced by the company's code. Secondly, it can be as a result of what? Criminal conduct under any of our legislation in Ghana. And thirdly, the court itself, on assessment of the facts, can assess it. And if you read the judgment, beautiful assessment of the facts. That is where the court, in Moko and Kuma, Joseph Sophia Akufo-Addo, as she then was, indicated that if the company is being used as an alter ego of an owner, then you actually can lift the corporate veil and go after the owner. And the judge in this ruling, if you read it, demonstrated amply that indeed Akonta mining was being used as an alter ego. And she gave examples. One, the way you can find out that a company is being used as an alter ego of a person is by corporate practices. One, it was, Wuntumi is not the general manager of the company. But he went beyond the general manager and gave the gentleman a contract to go and reclaim land. Is that not the case? He proceeded beyond that to even call an excavator dealer for the gentleman to go and buy.
Basically, in simple terms, the company's code, if we want to impute it, they didn't meet the standard.
Absolutely. So it was quite clear.
And then the criminal.
Yeah, so it was quite clear that the grounds for lifting the corporate veil was valid. Because clearly, Wuntumi was the one acting, not the company. You didn't, the company, there was no board taking decisions. There was no secretary of the company taking decisions. It was one person doing all that. When the company even had a general manager. So clearly, it was being used as an alter ego of Wuntumi. And the basis for lifting the corporate veil to go after him was sound in law. In any case, this is important. The judge did not say, even the accused person, the prosecution witness, did not say that, look, okay, I don't agree with you that you were there for reclamation. The judge accepted that, look, you were there for reclamation. Partly reclamation, but partly mining. Yeah. Because according to your arrangement, you had to mine to use the process to pay for the reclamation. So he was there. I agree that you were there to do both. But even with both, your reclamation, you breach Article 59. Your mining, you breach Article Section 14. And with your reclamation, you breach Section 59. So on the basis of that, the judge proceeded to make a decision against Wuntumi. How is this bad law? And all of a sudden, the MPP wants us to accept that whenever they are in opposition and the laws of this country appears to be working, there's everything wrong with our laws. In any case, this amendment we are talking about, it was championed by Nana Addo and the MPP in 2019. The Section 99(2)(b) we are talking about. It's the creation of the MPP.
Okay, let me.
And to land on that point.
Yeah, please do.
About them going to visit Chairman Wuntumi.
Oh, we're not there yet. Oh. We're not there yet at all.
You won't allow me even.
Don't people visit their friends in prison? It's okay. Dr. Zato, you have been so calm this morning.
Oh, thank you very much. I want to start on the need for us to use better and decent language in our public discourse. millions of Ghanaians are watching us, and they learn from us. And so now when people say politics is dirty, and when people say these things, they do so, and of course they learn from us. All of us sitting here are smart, intelligent men who are capable of expressing ourselves without degenerating to using foul and language. So to sit here today and use that kind of language, I think was way...
What language? What language?
Honorable Afenyo Markins will go down to history as one of the most consequential and impactful minority leaders. He has established and demonstrated his leadership bona fides. And any attempt to try to...
Dr. Zato was very calm.
I want to come on. Yes, because I know he will do this.
He was quiet.
When I also start doing it, I want viewers to watch.
No.
I want viewers to see when I also start doing this.
You know that on this table, we all had two options, either substantiate the liar part or withdraw. But you did both. You eventually withdrew it. Or
I didn't withdraw it.
Oh, you said you let that go.
No, I gave you evidence. You wanted evidence. You did it.
Oh, come on.
If a lie is a lie, and I tell you it's a lie, what's wrong? What is indecent about it?
No, he has the floor.
I just want to categorically say that we disassociate ourselves from that comment. I like to think that Hamza is a lawyer and he knows he is a liar.
He says he will accept the consequences.
He accepts the consequences. All right, then let's come back to Dr. Zato.
He's lied.
Today, Honorable Ato Forson is going to Parliament. He's going to present a media review. This was the same Honorable Ato Forson who promised cocoa farmers that when he can pay them 6,000 cedis. When he came, he didn't pay them 6,000 cedis. Did he lie?
You tell us.
Will it be fair to call him no? Because I understand enough politics and people to know that politicians change.
So what you have just done is to lie on Ato Forson, because that was not what he said. It was contextual, and you are lying. Yeah. And if I call you out for lying, I'm being honest to the fact.
I'm trying to do what he's doing.
Hamza, he was
quiet throughout.
But it doesn't mean that I'll keep quiet and allow him to lie.
Sorry, my coffee. He wasn't happy when you used the words on minority leader, but he was calm.
I was not using it on him. He's attacking me. And I'm seated here, so I have to respond. That's a difference.
That's fine. When you have your time, you can respond. Let's hear you. When you have your time, you can respond.
So I think that I am capable of making my points without degenerating into insults or name calling.
Exactly.
And that I also believe that politicians, sometimes when they are faced with consequences, change their minds. The Americans use a more sanitized word called flip-flopping to describe this. And I've seen that. And I've seen, and there's documentary evidence that even His Excellency, the President, and almost every politician we have has at one point or another advocated a position, changed their position, has at one point said something and changed it. When that happens, I am matured and smart enough to not to call them a liar, because I understand that these things do happen, and I will not go into that. But again, Honorable Afenyo Markin, God bless you for the hard work you are doing. They attack you because you are impactful. They attack you because you are one of the best minority leaders that we ever seen, and history will judge you as such.
MPP.
When what's the name? There was a change of government. One of the leading advocates to end Galamsey. What's his name? The CEO of Chamber of Ashigbe. He made a profound statement. He said, in the Galamsey fight, NPP criminals have been replaced by what? NDC criminals. His argument is that it's only the color changing, but that the same act, the same criminal act of Galamsey has been ongoing. When they came to power, the Ghana Catholic Bishop Conference went to the President of the Republic and they made an appeal. They begged him, they pleaded him. They said, Mr. President, time to act is now. Declare a state of emergency. You are losing the Galamsey war. When the President came, he met CSOs on Galamsey. They all kept making one point. They pleaded with the President to declare a state of emergency and start working. As we sit here, nobody can tell us that we've begun turning the tide on Galamsey. No. We are not winning the Galamsey war. In fact, this is getting worse. Last week we were here when we saw Galamsey behind an Agenda 111 hospital. We were here, we have been told that Galamsey is taking over Lake Busontwe. The government's record and fight against Galamsey has been woeful and pathetic. So the government is desperate. This is where you want to understand where Wontumi comes in. A sacrificial lamb to please the NDC's food base and to please the CSOs on Galamsey that we are doing something. And that is where you want to understand it. It's a broader scheme to say, when has them been sacrificed, it's like red meat thrown out to them to say, hey, listen, we said we will prosecute kingpins, and this is a kingpin we have processed, so we are doing something. Nobody's buying it.
Happy with this?
Nobody is buying that. And nobody is buying that because everybody can see through the charade and the shenanigans of this government when it comes to Galamsey.
What's the meaning of
we sat here and we saw Solomon, you and I were on the set when we saw what's the name? When we saw what's the name?
Emefa, you have to restrain Hamza.
When we saw people
there are many ways to restrain.
When we saw people attack Nemos, you and I were there when the Nemos commander told us that he almost lost his life when guns were thrown on him.
Yes.
2 MPs were identified as those who threatened the lives of the Nemos people.
And they have to be prosecuted.
Where are they? What has happened to them? This network did an investigation, identified DCEs who were involved in Galamsey. This network named and shamed them. What happened to them? Where are they?
Some people have been referred to committees.
Thank you.
Some people visit courts every now and then.
Thank you. There's something about politics that you do. Sometimes when the government tries to bury a story, they claim it's being investigated. And that investigation will go on forever. I'm telling you. Then 3, His Excellency the President says he's aware, some members of his own government who have been involved in Galamsey, who are involved in Galamsey. In the international community and over the world, naming and shaming is a
allow him to lie. That the president said that he knows members
what I'm saying is that there are members of the in the international community, naming and shaming is an acceptable means of an existential crisis. Who are these members of the NDC government or the NDC who are involved in the government?
If you tell
why is His Excellency the President naming and
don't worry.
I tell you, when we do this,
we'll decide that
the point I'm making is that today we are on national TV. Like come and sit down and
but I will not sit down. Somebody that we're standing by the video.
You sit down and you want us to understand that.
No, but he said
so when you stand that the prosecution of
the president
ask him to
that the idea of having
put a lie on the president. I want to entertain that.
The idea
that's not why I'm here.
It's political and it's going to
allow him to speak his point.
Going after people that you don't believe in, and that is not fair.
Oh no, I didn't say it was like
in this country. Galamsey is one of the biggest things that.
No, but he just lied on the president.
Our economy.
What is the truth?
And I believe strongly that
when I made an allegation, I was supposed to substantiate it. So if he's lying on the president, I expect the same.
And it's not fair.
To demonstrate that
we can continue with this idea, this attitude. You see, I know that when I start to talk, these things will happen. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Because I know then that it's happening because the truth should not be told. And truth is going to be told. There's nobody in this country that will say that there are no strong members of the NDC that are doing Galamsey.
I'm finding the video.
Please look. Nobody says that. There's nobody who can say that we do not have members of the current government doing Galamsey. And I've just told you that. We were told that Yamin and Abanga were doing Galamsey. They have been basically for over 1 year now.
I want to know the theme area you're going.
I'm going with
whether
the point I'm trying to make is that when people say it's selective justice, I believe that.
Okay.
When people say it's a selective application of the justice, I believe that. When people say when it comes to Galamsey, the government using its prosecutorial and investigative powers is shielding and protecting its own members, I believe that. When people say that when it comes to Galamsey, the government uses its prosecutorial and investigative powers to make sure that it punishes or it goes after perceived political or real political opponents, I believe in that too. And that will not make our forests healthier. That will not make our rivers healthier. That will not solve the existential crisis we are facing. If you strongly believe that Galamsey is an existential crisis, the coalitions against Galamsey have given you a solution. They say, declare state of emergency. If you strongly believe Galamsey is an existential crisis, the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference has given you a solution. Declare a state of emergency. If you strongly believe that Galamsey is an existential crisis, do more than this charade.
So what's your take on the chairman Wontumi? Because doing this one does not
my take on it is that
please allow him to speak.
Okay.
Allow him to speak.
Bernard, I'm going to come to you.
Yeah,
I just want to recognize the presence of Professor Peter Kote. He is an economist, University of Ghana, and former director, Institute of Statistical, let me just say ISA, Statistical, Social, and Economic Research. Prof, thank you so much. You've been on for a while now. I'm just going to ask for permission to take just 5 more minutes and then come back in studio. Then we can zoom into the review of the budget later today. But please humbly stay with me as I just take the comments from lawyers or Prof. Thank you so much for agreeing. You're on screen, so you don't have a choice but to agree for me. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
What is the challenge? First of all, why does the MPP think that this is political? He's a political prisoner.
Well, Emefa, thank you.
And is it the same definition as political prisoner as we know it?
Thank you, Emefa. I will respond to that. But let me take a strong exception to the fact that my good friend Hamza has called the minority leader here openly as a known liar. It's something I take strong exception to, and I would actually invite the minority leader to take it up, because Hamza has also added that he's ready to.
No, it's not worth it. I don't.
Let me finish.
It's not
I'm very obvious. He said, "It's okay. It's okay." He said he's ready to face the consequences.
I'm very.
And I think that is something the minority leader would have to look into.
Yes.
Again, let me add this: His Excellency, the flag bearer of the MPP. Did something very commendable yesterday. He issued a statement in response to this arrest and prosecution of a guy who said all manner of things about him. I mean, he did something so perfect. He says that he's not into criminalizing speech, and that the solution to offensive speech is better speech and tolerance. I think that is perfect, and we need to commend it.
Until there are no laws to deal with that.
No, he says better speech. He said it's so perfect. Some are in Sawim for 1 year and all that, but he is saying that, you know what? The solution is not to criminalize and prosecute these young people. Help them understand that better speech helps, and that is what I'm going to do. Just as our flag bearer has advised, better speech. What is Wuntumi's case about? You see, we have a lot of issues with the case, apart from the fact that it's obviously a selective justice matter, and I would associate myself with all the
Let me stay with you on that, selective justice. This means that this justice, you agree, is well served, except that it's been selective.
Let me just finish. I would come there. I would associate myself with the comments made by my good brother, Mr. Zato. You see, we have indicated that, first and foremost, Mr. Wontumi and his family is not alone in this matter. The party is with them. The vice president visited. The legal directorate, of which I'm a member, has also teamed up with lawyers of Mr. Wontumi, and we are working around the clock to come up with a lot of appealable points. Let me just come and educate your.
You are now working to come up.
Please, Hamza.
You see, no. You see, this is the case. I kept quiet, and
you have not been invited to this matter.
I've done that. But you saw.
Dr.
When we do this, it's not nice. It's not nice.
When you do this, you maybe I should switch positions, because immediately he reacted. I responded.
Hamza doesn't have a monopoly of destruction of
Dr. Zato. But you just saw that I didn't sit still. I called him to order, and he's in order. Now we have to deal with you to be quiet, because you started very well.
Give us indication of the time allocations. Very important.
I'm listening to him.
You see, just as
I didn't start out with all of you.
Just as our flag bearer has advised, he says the responses to some of these things is better speech. You see, Chairman Wontumi in the trial has not only been given a raw deal, but Article 19(1), especially of our Constitution, has been breached, and it has been breached in its entirety. Every citizen of this country has a right to a fair hearing. Please, give me Article 91. You can help me with the reading. You know those days.
I'll help you here.
Every citizen of this country has a right to fair hearing. And I'll demonstrate to you why Mr. Wontumi has not been given a fair hearing. Emefa, do you know who were used as the prosecution witnesses for the prosecution? It was a certain Okun and a certain Aishi. These are, Emefa, please, are you with me?
I'm with you.
These are not just witnesses for the state. These were the persons who Mr. Wontumi had contracted to do the reclamation. These persons, okay, are not only corporates because they were found mining on the land. Hamza, you've blocked my view. I want to see Emefa whilst I'm talking. I want to address Emefa. I want to address Emefa.
What is?
I want to address Emefa.
I have
the two of you are jittery all over. I can't even move from my chair.
No, you sit well, but you know that's, you know.
Emefa,
I did this to read something.
But he has to address
Emefa,
me.
It's okay. Emefa, I'm
just sitting back.
Emefa,
yes.
Those two persons are not only corporates because they were found mining. They are also the people responsible for Mr. Wontumi's predicament. These are people Mr. Wontumi had contracted through Akonta Mining, had allowed them onto the land. They did something untoward, which has led to the charges. So you see, it was the activities of these guys on the concession that have given rise to the charges against Mr. Wontumi, that he is assigned the mining contract or mining lease without approval. It is their activities. Their activities. They were found mining, and they have not been. Mr. Wontumi was not only charged with assigning mineral rights without approval, he was also charged with facilitating unlicensed mining. And who are those performing this unlicensed mining? This, you see, Enokum. And these same people who are responsible for his predicaments have been used and have been forced, have been cajoled to be used. Please let me finish.
Emefa, you can't allow that.
Have been used as
who forced them?
Oh, please let me finish.
All right.
Let me finish.
Abi will have our right.
Have been used as prosecution witnesses against him. The very people.
Why they witnessed against their
yes
against their will?
Against Mr. Wontumi.
No, but was it against their will?
When you are found, let me ask you this. When you are found doing an illegal activity, then the state comes to tell you that, oh, they've gone into an arrangement in the form of plea bargaining for you and all that. So you are exculpated. What do you think you will say against the very person you have put?
Is Okum on a plea bargain?
Yes.
He currently is on a plea bargain.
So that establishes his guilt.
Okay.
It establishes his guilt in terms of the mining activities or the activities he was carrying on the concession. And this same person who has been responsible for the predicament of Mr. Wontumi and whose activities have grounded the charges against Mr. Wontumi, the state forces him as a witness.
No, the state didn't.
And Article 19 says what? Read Article 19.
A person charged with a criminal offense shall be given a fair hearing.
A fair hearing.
Within a reasonable time by a court.
Do you think that per the circumstances of this case, the very persons who have caused and have occasioned all the circumstances that have befallen Mr. Wontumi are being used by the state? And remember, according to the Deputy AG, they have gone through plea bargaining. So they've accepted their guilt. And whatever thing has been given to them, they've been exculpated. And they are now being used against the very person who allowed them there. Do you think that is a fair hearing? So for me, I think it's a let me.
Hang on. You know what we're going to do? We're going to stay on this matter for a while.
Let me relax.
So do you know what we're going to do?
No.
Hang on.
My goodness.
No. I kept quiet.
Please allow.
I kept quiet.
Yes.
You know what?
Bernard, do you know what I'm going to do?
I'm a very good point.
Please land on it. And when you land on it, we'll come back to this Chairman Wontumi matter. Okay? We'll come back. Land on that point you want to make. So I'll just engage Professor on the review, and then we'll come back to the Chairman Wontumi. Yeah. So you also get a fair hearing on
in
this.
law. In law, nobody is saying that those two guys are not competent witnesses. But I am saying that the contemplation of Article 19(1) is such that using them when they are the cause of the predicament of Mr. Wontumi, it is not justify an offense against both the letter and the spirit of Article 19(1). Please, Hamza, when I'm speaking, please keep quiet.
Hamza,
kept quiet. I kept quiet when you were speaking. I'm a very senior lawyer, and I know what I'm saying.
From now onwards, we will also keep quiet when people are talking. So that we all disturb the case.
The flag.
See the two MPP people here.
I am representing MPP.
And he's also representing MPP.
You can say that to him.
Oh yeah, of course he's an
please.
Stop that.
For us, the MPP, a flag bearer says the response to all these things is better speech.
Yes.
So I am saying that in my the contemplation of Article 19(1) has not been met in the sense that the persons who were responsible for his predicaments have been used to testify against him. Nobody has questioned their capability or competence as witnesses, but that will never lead to a fair hearing, and it is affront to the provisions and the contemplations under Article 19(1). So I'll leave it here. We'll come.
That's a good place to land. When we come back, when we circle back and we get back to the Chairman Wontumi matter, we're going to discuss exactly what his predicaments are.
Exactly.
And what the court found him to be facilitating.
Exactly.
Because what we're doing is, Okum and the others, we have agreed that he engaged in illegal mining. What we are trying to do, I agree. So now what we're trying to find is what was the role of Chairman Wontumi in that action. We'll come back to all of that. I've also tried to find the video of where the president was saying that, and then we'll play. But Prof,
I've got it.
Thank you so much. Professor Peter Kwote, thank you so much. You're such a patient professor. He's an economist, University of Ghana, and a former director, Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research. This morning, we should be talking about bread and butter issues. We should be talking about the health or the pulse of our economy. It's the reason why we got you to join us this morning on the conversation. Generally, 6 months into 2026, how would you describe the health of our economy, Prof?
Well, good morning to your discerning viewers and listeners. Our economy remains relatively stable in terms of its fiscal performance. We've seen inflation at a reasonable level, in exchange rate depreciation at a very reasonable level, and fiscal deficit also quite within containable level. So it's good we have some stability, but I must say that when you stabilize up to some point, you need to take off. Just like an aircraft, you taxi on the runway and you take off, because there are a lot of people who don't have jobs. We have jobless growth. We are growing, but we are not creating the needed jobs. So the consolidation is good. And I must say that having looked at the fiscal deficit, the revenue, the expenditure for the first quarter of 2026, and I can point viewers to the Ministry of Finance website. That information is there. Quarter 1, 2026 figures. You can see that we're able to consolidate very much. Our target for revenue and expenditure, our expenditure target was 4.9% of GDP, but we hit 3.5%. It means we were very quite steep with our stabilization. We spent less than necessary or required, but our revenue numbers also dipped, shortfall of 4.5% of total revenue, and the tax revenue also declined by 5.0%. So what do I expect in the media review? I would like to see how we're able to show up our revenue numbers, because there has been a dip in tax revenue as well as in total revenue. We've also seen a steep decline in our expenditure. I mean, if you are not spending, it means the ministry, department, and agencies don't have the resources to fund their activities. And that is what we've seen when the floods came, our choke gathers, waste that not being collected properly, and many other areas that require attention. So it's good. I must commend government for the fiscal consolidation. But having said that, I think it's about time we take off great jobs for the many youth that are roaming our streets.
Prof, the way this government started, did you anticipate the dip in the revenue and also the tax revenue? Are you surprised at the dip, or you anticipated it?
Well, I anticipated it. If you cast your minds back to 2017, the previous government did the same. They took away a lot of taxes. There were about 17 of them. They called some of them nuisance taxes. They took them off. And then we started seeing decline in our revenue. So it tells you that we haven't done a lot of the reforms, the efficiency we need to inject in our revenue mobilization effort. We haven't done much of that. So when we take out some of these taxes, the following year, we see our revenue numbers dipping, and that is what we have seen. We have seen everything in the VAT rate is now 20%, but still high compared to other African countries where they are around 16 to 18%. But then you're seeing the dip in the revenue numbers. So I'm hoping that going forward, we will see an improvement and also some more injection into the economy. We would like to see in the media review how much was allocated, how much has been disbursed, because And oftentimes, not just with this government, with previous, for the past so many decades or so, we see a lot of allocations, very flamboyant allocations, but when it comes to disbursement, it's woefully inadequate. So we want to see those numbers so we can tell whether we are actually affecting society, we are affecting the lives of the people we promise to govern.
Prof, I mean, given my understanding of what governance is, it suggests to me that the government is faced with using scarce resources. You mentioned that you want to see some injection into the economy. If the government was supposed to focus on one particular area of the economy, where should it be focusing more in injecting some resources? I see they're doing a lot with a big push, but is that where it should begin and end, or you'd rather advise another sector of the economy, Prof?
Well, a big push is great. I think we want to see more of that, but it's not moving at the pace that I would have expected. I drove through Kumasi not too long ago, and I've seen construction going on at a very slow pace. So yes, the big push is good, but I think we need to see some rapid injection into the road sector. We want to see better roads as quickly as possible. But one area has to do with our real sector, manufacturing and agriculture. I think that's where I want to see the injection. But those are the two key areas that creates jobs, that creates the most jobs. So what incentives are we providing to the private sector? That's where the injection should go. Then the agri support through the value chain. If we want to see agriculture flourish, to what extent are we providing the infrastructure, the enabling environment for irrigation, for instance? It's a shame that we go to Burkina Faso, who are irrigating their tomato and other food production, and then we import onions from other, we tend to import more from these countries than we can do in our own country. So more injection into irrigation, irrigated agriculture, and also support for farmers. We've seen the move towards poultry. I think that is good, but the implementation is poorly handled, and I think there are lessons for us to try quickly to engage the poultry farmers, the big poultry farmers, and try to correct the wrong as quickly as possible.
Right.
So agriculture and manufacturing should be the other, in addition to infrastructure, and of course sanitation and waste management.
Prof, I believe what you say. Every time I engage both the NDC and the NPP, there's always that confusion. The NPP believes, or the past government believes, that what the BOG is doing to help balance inflation in the country currently, it's not sustainable. In fact, they go as far as describing it as very artificial. Casually look at the numbers. Is this true?
Well, the BOG alone cannot stabilize inflation. Inflation is, and if I should use the economic jargon, is caused by demand pull and cost push factors. So demand pull and cost push factors. Demand pull, if there's more money in the system, more money chasing few goods, you have inflation. So that's what the BOG is fighting, trying to mop up excess liquidity, excess funds. They control the banks, they regulate the banks and the financial system. So they know the amount of money in circulation every point in time, and they have to find ways of mobbing this excess liquidity. The fiscal authority, that is the Ministry of Finance, is also supposed to tackle the supply push factors. In other words, the real sector, trying to provide the enabling environment like what I just spoke about, manufacturing, the real sector growth, etc. So it's not just the BOG. If we leave everything to the BOG and this Ministry of Finance is not doing what it has to do, inflation will go up. Fortunately for us, we've seen the fiscal discipline happening on that front, and the BOG is also doing what it has to do. But I must say that liquidity management is with us and will continue to be with us, because we tend to be much of a cash-based economy. Most of the things we do is cash-based. If we gradually move towards digitalization, use of the banking system, this excess liquidity issues wouldn't happen. Most of the funds will be with the banks, with the financial institutions. Then the central bank will be able to manage this.
In terms of mopping the liquidity in the system, the rate at which the BOG is moving, should they maintain that rate? Should they reduce it? Should they increase it? What will be the long-term impact?
Well, they certainly cannot leave it to move at that. They certainly have to ramp up what you're doing. But I think inflation, I think the fight against inflation, we are over pushing inflation. For a developing country, some level of inflation is acceptable.
But what does it mean to over push inflation?
I think the current inflation is about 3.5%, and that is low in my view for a developing country. Some level of inflation is good. When we have some level of inflation, it means you are spending, people are getting money, there's a more economic activity. But as you fight inflation to the very low level, you are basically also hurting economic activity, you are hurting jobs. The BOG's inflation rate, the band, optimal band is 6 plus or minus 2. This is 6 or 8 plus or minus 2, right? So if you are at 3.5%, it is even out of the BOG's own medium-term inflation band. It tells you they are below the target they have set. And there have been studies to show that for a developing country, a rate of close to 10% is acceptable.
But currently we're doing 5.3. We've moved from 3.7 to 5.3. Is that okay? Since for a country like ours, a little bit of inflation is okay?
Yeah, it's okay. I don't think we should push it to 3% or 3.5%. That for me, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of resources to push inflation to that level, and it comes with a cost. As you are fighting inflation, you are not creating jobs, you're also hurting jobs. So there's a trade-off between inflation and employment. So we need to strike a delicate balance. The Bank of Ghana has done quite well if you look at the stability in terms of the exchange rate and inflation. But I think it also has to strike this delicate balance and not move far below its medium-term target that it has set for itself. I believe there was empirical work to support that rate, that medium-term band, and therefore we should stay within the band and not go far below the band.
Prof, you would notice that the finance minister seems to have prioritized servicing our external debtors or our external creditors. They even go as far as paying quite earlier than the time allocated. Many have said that why don't we just, think about the bread and butter issue than servicing our creditors earlier than required. If I get into the thinking of the finance ministry, what approach do you think they're using? When I spoke to the technical advisor, he said that they're to really just boost confidence in investors and have citizens really just fasten their belts and wait a little longer until it shows in our plate. This approach, how long do you think it should continue? And at what point should the ministry say that, well, I think we have serviced our creditors for a while, it's about time we focus internally?
Well, after COVID, thereafter, we lost quite a bit of credibility on the international market, as well as with our local investors. It takes quite some time to bring this credibility back. So what the minister did, in my view, is a smart move. It's a move to bring back credibility. But it shouldn't be a one-off. You have to, winning confidence can take quite some time. When somebody breaks your heart, it might take quite a couple of years before you really get back to normal. So same way, if we've lost confidence, we certainly have to do what it takes. So I think I support what the minister had done. They should continue doing that. But same approach should be used in financing our ministries, departments, and agencies. We should allocate more resources towards the key ministries so that things will happen. Because the government promised jobs. So far, not many of those jobs are happening because we need to pump in more money to ensure that the government programs receive funding so they can create the needed jobs. But yes, we need stability, but we also need to create the job. So a delicate balance between this is very critical at this point.
The ministry not disbursing funds to ministries or required institutions, they describe it as discipline. Economically, is it right? You have said that they should, of course, disburse funds to these ministries, but they're also very focused on discipline because they say when they're not spending, that's better. How do I find a correlation?
The discipline is what when you say, I am going to achieve this, and then you stick to it, that's discipline. If you say my target is to spend 4.9% of GDP, and you stick to it, and maybe you miss it by a marginal 0.1 or point, that's fine. But you target 4.9 and you spend 3.5. That is way below what you have targeted, about 1.4 percentage points below off target. I will not call that discipline. I think it's far from discipline. So yes, we want to ensure fiscal discipline, but not at the expense of critical economic activities. That for me is not the way to go. We ought to ensure that when we earmark funds that we want to target this and we receive the funds, let's go ahead and allocate funds so that economic activity will go on and then people would have confidence in the economy, have confidence in the government. We don't just have to win confidence of the international community at the expense of our citizens. We need to strike a delicate balance. We need to achieve both.
I see that you have quite an interest in agriculture and also employment. Which part of this government's promises do you expect to see? I know it's a review, it's not an allocation, but which part of this government's promises that they gave during their manifestos or during their campaigns do you at least want to see a review or an adjustment later today? The 24-hour economy, how does it come to you? The rate at which they are moving?
Well, I think close to the elections, I made a statement about the 24-hour economy. Some received it with in good faith, others in bad taste. But it takes time. That's what. But the communication, in my view, at the time was like, we're going to do this immediately. We take power, and I said it's not going to happen. It will take time. You need to have the systems in place. You need to have infrastructure, our security. If somebody is going to work you're operating a 24-hour economy, our security systems have to be ramped. Our energy supply has to be ramped up. Our water supply, and even demand for the products. You need to assess all of that if you are to double your production. Who is going to buy? So 24-hour economy, in some areas it's happening already. Other areas it might not take too long. But in some areas it might take 3 or 4 years. So let's manage expectations, you see. But if we come and say, hey, as soon as we take power, there's going to be 133, they call it. Some say it should be 122 or 133. But look, let's manage expectations. It's a good concept, but we need to put in the systems required for it to take off. So if we manage expectations, then nobody can criticize them that they haven't met what they promised to do. But if you promise that it's going to happen now and people vote for you and it doesn't happen, then they will fault you. So let's manage expectations. It's a good concept, but some will not happen now. It might take longer.
Well, Prof, finally, before I let you go, manage expectations. Are you speaking to the Ghanaian households today? What should my family be looking out for? Would any of the decisions or the review affect my plate in any way? I've been eating bread without butter. Am I going to get butter anytime soon?
Oh, yes, I expect this review, certainly. You don't expect the Minister of Finance to come and make people more miserable. Certainly, he has to come and put smiles on our faces. So we expect to hear more about new revenue sources that are coming in and how they're going to be allocated. I particularly expect to hear more about roads being fixed. If they are new, apart from new construction, they also fixing the potholes. I drive around and I see some areas that require very little effort to fix potholes or grading. We have the drip machine. So we want to see more happening in terms of roads. We also want to see more happening in terms of sanitation, so that the flooding that happened would certainly be the thing of the past. So those are some of the areas. I've spoken about agriculture. I've spoken about to provide incentive for agri irrigation. They need to provide incentives for manufacturing and to review the Nkukong program. We certainly have to be self-sufficient in poultry, but this approach, in my view, would not yield the needed results. So let's review that policy so that we don't import too much of poultry that sometimes we don't know the quality of this imported poultry. So good concept, but review the implementation strategies to make it more effective. Thank you.
Prof, thank you so much. You're quite a patient and a generous professor this morning. Thank you very much. I'm certain we'll circle back when the minister presents the media budget review again for your thoughts and comments on it later today.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Who amongst you said I should eat bread? I should stop eating bread.
Solo. No, that's Solo. But you were sitting right by him.
That's all you called it.
Oh, me? Well,
what is that? I'm the only person here sent by MPP.
Oh, I just want to remind you that today the finance minister will be reviewing the budget.
Why is it at 2 p.m.? It should be early. So
why? Why early?
I think 2 p.m. is quite late.
Because Parliament is sitting at 2 p.m. quite early in the last days.
So by that time you are...
It happens in Parliament, and there's only one Parliament
I heard this one is 2 p.m.
Yes.
So what really is going to happen? Because for me, the main budget has been presented. We understand that it's not going to seek any additional funding. So really, the budget stands.
First and foremost,
you never know.
It's a legal requirement.
Yes, but I don't think that there will be a complete departure. If he was going to ask for additional funding.
You never know.
I've heard him somewhere.
He says he's not going to ask, but at least he wants to give you an account of how much he's asked for.
He should be spending. He should be spending. He's not spending.
Why?
He's not spending. You remember the issue between himself and the Agric minister, and I'm sure it was only the Agric minister who came up.
It's a topic we'll discuss today anyway. The review.
He's not spending.
No. You see,
for instance, you remember the.
That's okay. We just finished the review. It's okay to take your comments on it.
Yes.
Before we move to Wuntumi.
Are we going? You said you were going to get back to me.
We're talking about Wuntumi. Yes. But you were just talking about.
Yes, I was just saying that. I think we should encourage the finance minister to spend. I mean,
what's the fixation on him spending? What's the fixation?
It's quite obvious that it's affecting a lot of sectors. You remember the issue with the Agric ministry? I mean,
that's just an impasse.
It was the Agric minister who actually came out to say that you have not given me my money. What you've given me is not adequate, and what you are even putting out there is not the real amount you've given me. You remember it had to take Mr. Ponkroma to raise that there is garrison money sitting down. Please bring the money, help prevent the flooding and all that. So we will only encourage him to spend so that at least employment could be created and all that. It's a fair call.
Solomon, you also mentioned, you listen to Prof, right?
I listen.
Says we should manage our expectations.
Absolutely. I mean, it's garbage in and garbage out. What is budget? It's your expected revenue and expected expenditure. Revenue has to come from you and I. You understand? How much are they collecting for them to expend? To say you must spend means we must go on a borrowing spree, which brought us into a
spend rightly.
No, you're supposed to collect revenue.
Yes.
Your tax revenue also exists. Yes. It has dipped.
Yes.
So you don't have to go and borrow. Why aren't you collecting your revenue? Why aren't you making your margins?
So this is the scenario. You are just coming out of the IMF. You don't have the luxury. We have not even concluded our agreements or MOUs with our creditors and so on and so forth. So you cannot just go there and say you are borrowing. And mind you, your tax revenue does not come on time. You understand? You have to wait at the end of the month or at the end of the year to even realize some of the amount that you use in projection during the budget reading. So it is not easy to say spend when the day is not there.
It's not there.
If the day is not there, what can you do? We will just be beating about the bush.
Okay.
And that is why, and you touched on the garage. For me, what the finance minister did was right. I mean, we have expended close to $103 million, yet there is no semblance of that reflecting on the ground.
If he had done so, I'm not sure we would have seen what we saw when the rains came in.
And the Oddo, the silting of the Oddo. I think when we get to garage, when we decide to go into garage this morning, there are going to be a lot of issues.
Lives were lost.
I see, Dr. Zato, I see
you apply the funds
reluctance to
release. When you was talking, there was a diagram you projected there that shows Ghana's exports. And you looked at about three things. You looked at oil, you looked at gold, and one of the things shows that it was about 70% or so led by gold.
Yes.
Now, And gold is at record high price internationally because of the instability in the world. Most people are seeing gold as a safe haven. So right now we seem to be doing well, and the whole economic everything in this country seems to be driven by higher gold prices.
Yes.
So it's good right now because gold prices are at record high. But anybody, any student knows that it can tumble. Not just fall, it can tumble. Yes. The question is that so far we have not been given an alternative formula on what happens when the prices tumble. And that for me it gives us a place where we should be worried about. What happens when those prices tumble? In fact, this one has come ahead that cocoa too is actually doing well. Cocoa has not tumbled. These two things, when they tumble, they'll have...
Cocoa, gold, oil. Yes. They always behave that way.
And we have other potentials. That's why we have to develop.
But now, the other thing is, if we want to continue that now, I always make this point. We need to be investing in the right places. And that is where everybody seems to be blaming the finance minister. We need to invest in. This morning, the Fourth Estate is coming out with an expose on the Feed Ghana project. Remember, I started by saying it. There are farmers in Tumu, there are farmers all over the world right now who are saying that the fertilizer has not come.
Yeah, you said the Fourth Estate
is coming out with an expose on the
Do you have any information to that expose?
I'm saying that.
Over here we have discussions. If the question is relevant, I'll let it pass. If it's not relevant, I'll stop it.
I'm saying the
expose
on the Feed Ghana project.
So
the title is that Feed Ghana stumbles at takeoff, as farmers wait for promised inputs months into planning.
But Dr. Zato, you didn't have to even reference. You already mentioned that your farmer friends in Tumu, they have this challenge.
So the point I'm making is, and you saw Prof was making that point. You can, be disciplined in how you spend, but you must spend at the right places.
Yes.
If a farmer, if you delay fertilizer and bring it to the farmer at the end of August, he doesn't need it. If you right now when they actually need the help, and that is but the preamble here, it makes a connection with this and the previous planting for food program, also saying that part of it came late, and so also affected the program. So as a country, then we then go back and have we learned? This is where it connects with what you are saying that probably this is why the Agric minister kept saying earlier that I needed that man earlier so that I could get these inputs ready, so that I could get the farmers on time. Exactly. And we've seen the clashes between ministers and finance minister. Education minister said it, the health minister said everybody's saying it. So the only solution we could come out with the idea that probably is because the money is not there to spend, like you said. So it doesn't matter. The finance minister knows when farmers need the inputs. He knows. Everybody does. But if the dare is not there, you cannot force the dare to be there. Probably the reason why you're not spending this. So I want to say that. Secondly, if you also look at what you're expecting, probably the reason why you are not having butter with your bread is because there's no butter.
You see where it came from.
So I'm just saying there's no butter anywhere. So the finance minister cannot give you butter if it doesn't have butter.
I'm on diet.
So he's putting you on false diet because he doesn't have any butter for you.
Induced diet.
He doesn't.
Just a little bread.
Students at the University of Ghana, they're just from 111. And a lot of them, because of finances, they are going 001, 011.
But this formula was there when we invest, you and I.
So Hamza,
you see how
do you have any reaction to it?
So again, I want to say that yes.
Are you landing?
We hope for good news. We hope something good will come. I hope that the farmers will get something good. I hope traders will get something good. And I hope students and other people will get a relief. But I don't know whether I should hold my breath.
It's okay to hold your breath. You control breath. Hamza, do you have any responses to Prof's responses to some of the questions?
No. I think that for us in the National Democratic Congress, at this stage, we listen more than run commentary because we did all the talking in terms of presentation of the budget last year. And it is left onto the good people of this country to evaluate the budget that was presented, anticipate what is coming next in line with our constitutional requirements. And so I think that it is fair. There are those who are looking up into the budget and expecting that, look, there's a need for us to look at other areas of growth.
Sure.
Fair call. There are those who feel that, look, these are the areas you need to invest in. Fair call. There are those who are also of the view that there's a need for government to cut expenditures in other areas. Fair call. So, but the most important thing is that we made a pledge to the good people of this country to resuscitate an economy that was comatose at the time that we came into office, an inflation that had run out of control, budget deficits that were clearly difficult to contain. Indeed, a comatose economy. That was the situation we inherited. And the responsibility trusted on us is to ensure that we come out of the woods. We have been able to successfully do that at a cost, not just to the Bank of Ghana, but to the entirety of the state, because there are certain social interventions that government would have loved to roll out from the first year, but largely because of the cost implications and the fact that we needed to get out of the woods affected those social intervention drive.
Okay.
So for me, it is about consensus. It is about respect for the opinions of different people, unlike we had in the last 8 years, where people thought that they were the economic messiahs of our country, who made brilliant promises in opposition that they were going to move us from taxation to production, from third world to first world. And when they were trusted with the responsibility of leadership, even successfully borrowing, we had kinky parties being organized at the office of the Minister of Finance. But this government is going beyond all that. We know that regardless of the policies we have, that we are so convinced that will transform the economy of this country, the most important element that is needed to actually translate that policy into action is to listen. Listen to experts, listen to varied views, and we are doing so.
We listen and we judge. We don't just listen and don't judge. Listen and judge. Anyway, let's back to so viewers, we're back to this our hangover. There seems to be a particular I don't know what they're drinking. Is it whiskey or cognac? But because we seem to be hanged on to the Wontumi matter. So back on that matter.
Yeah, you had asked me to explain.
Yes. So you say that you talk about predicaments.
Yes.
What are Chama Wontumi's predicaments?
So let me even break it simple for you. So my good friend here, Hamza, built a house, okay? And he gives it to me as an electrical engineer to do the electrical stuff in his house, okay? I'm just breaking it down for you. Contract given to Ray Dubai Hamza. I ask Solomon as part of my obligations under the contract to fix a socket, okay? Then some way, somehow, Hamza's house catches fire. Emefa, are you with me?
I'm with you.
Then Hamza takes me on for the fire. Guess who comes to testify against me in court for the fire? The person who caused the fire, Solomon. And I'm saying that. Let me break it down. So I'm saying that if Solomon is allowed to do that, when he's actually the cause of the fire, you are not giving me a fair trial. Because he himself is the culprit. So let me bring it down to the Wontumi's case. 2 witnesses in the person of Okumbu and Ayisi, where the very people Akonta Mining had made arrangements with for the reclamation.
Fair enough.
They go conduct other things outside the mandate to reclaim, and that they were arrested, according to the facts of the case, doing mining.
Yes.
Which was not the mandate given to them by Akonta Mining. Then these persons whose actions have precipitated all the charges against Mr. Wontumi are then relied upon in court to testify against him.
Do you know hear what I hear you say?
Yes.
Here's what I hear you say. And I'm not going to go with the first analogy. I'm going to stay with the case is real.
Definitely.
What you are inviting me to believe is that the judge superintended on a matter.
Yes.
Where she only...
The prosecution.
She only heard the prosecution and the witnesses thereof that were provided.
Yes.
And that you didn't have the opportunity to even cross-examine or debunk whether these witnesses, because they come from the same camp, may be lying or not.
Yes.
That's what the judge did?
No, at every stage, a lawyer would have the opportunity to cross-examine. My point is this. Nobody is faulting those 2 guys. They are fighting for their dear lives. But I'm saying if you carry that in the light of the provisions of Article 19(1), which says that every Ghanaian citizen, when you are being tried, you should be given a fair hearing.
What does a fair hearing? What does a fair hearing mean to you in this particular matter? That these people were not. These people shouldn't have been turned into witnesses.
What were they supposed to do? They are the cause of Wontumi's problem. They have not. Remember, they were found, according to the court's the judgment, they were the ones on the ground doing the mining.
Let's stay there.
They were the ground doing the mining.
Let's stay there.
No,
so the people were mining
yes,
on the ground.
According to the facts.
According to the facts.
Yes, and they were arrested.
Did they accept it in court?
Yes, they've been arrested.
Absolutely. Don't worry. I've read the judgment very much. I'm only asking for those who have not read.
Let me even help you.
So they agreed that they were mining.
Yes, it's not that they were caught mining.
They were caught mining. Yes. Chairman Woon to me says that, well, I gave you this land to reclaim.
Yes.
Let's start with it. What was the process Chairman Woon to me used for the reclamation?
There is even no written agreement to that effect.
So between
Woon to
the person accused,
Akonta Mining, and those two witnesses who are the cause of Woon to me's problem, there was no written agreement.
No, I'm talking about Chairman Woon to me himself. He accepted.
Akonta Mining.
Akonta Mining agreed that they had hired this person to reclaim the land.
Exactly.
What did they use to prove that?
What did they use to
Yes, how did they do that? The hiring of the person to do the reclamation. How did that
There was no documentary proof to that effect.
There was no documentary proof to that.
Yes, in a similar way, there's no documentary proof to the assignment of mineral rights. It was word against oath, word against my word.
Okay.
The point I am making is that if you use persons who are the cause of somebody's problem, who themselves are culprits and have been caught red-handed, as evidence, as witnesses, to bear testimony against the very person they have hurt, what is your expectation of that? And for me, that is not the contemplation of Article 19(1). It is not a fair hearing to Mr. Woon to me, and that, I think, strongly will be argued on appeal.
I don't know how, if a prosecutor has access to witnesses or evidence that are very alive, would rather go past it.
It is for this
if I catch you in, because you see, if the prosecutor finds you on a land that you were not, the minister didn't assign to you, and you agree that you are mining wrongly, they ask you, how did you get here?
And the person who gave it to you said that he did not ask you to mine. He asked you to reclaim. And he says, yes.
You should believe it.
Why should you also believe their testimony?
Okay. If
you won't believe Mr. Woon to me's testimony, why would you believe their testimony? It is not about their competence as witnesses. It's about the situation and the circumstantial, factual issues around it. These are the culprits. These are the people.
Akonta Mining, I want to know, Akonta Mining hired these people.
Made arrangements.
How did they make the arrangement?
It was verbal.
Verbal?
Yes. There was.
But what does the law say about reclamation? How do you hire somebody?
That is a different leg. Remember, Woon to me has been charged for basically 2 offenses. And let me explain those offenses to you. Assigning mineral rights without approval. Second offense was facilitating unlicensed mining. Who are those doing the unlicensed mining? This prosecution witness is the person of Okume and you see. The ones who were found doing the unlicensed mining are saying that they testified against Woon to me, who has told them that you are to do reclamation. And I'm saying that.
But the judge says that she doesn't see how you would have told somebody to go and reclaim, and yet you do not go there to follow up to check whether they are reclaiming.
They are culprits. They are the ones who have been found doing the supposed illegal mining. And you bring them to testify against the very person who says, I did not ask you to do that. Is that fair? And I'm saying that this is not what 19(1) contemplated. And to the extent that these people who have caused Woon to me's predicament to have been used as witnesses to bear witness against him, he has not been given a fair hearing.
So that's a fair ground for appeal. That's your fair ground for appeal.
I'm not saying that for saying, but for me as a lawyer, I believe that relying on the testimony of those 2 guys, who are the real cause of the situation Mr. Woon to me has found himself, it's never a fair hearing.
Okay, that's a good place to also... Hamza,
on
that particular matter, on relying on these people to provide witness.
But you see...
That particular one.
Yes, Emefa. It is troubling listening to my colleague on this platform attempt to massacre the laid down procedure of the law as we know it and as we're taught.
That's his understanding of the law. Yes. So I think you should let it pass.
I want to respond to this comment.
No, you see, it's a massacre.
It's okay.
It's a massacre. And I'm trying to demonstrate why. Even in court, I can use that. He knows. So, first of all, this is strange exposition of the law. This is strange exposition of the law.
What's strange in this?
Oh, are you the host now? Are you going to?
No, you're referring to my.
No, you're addressing.
You're referring to my.
You're addressing.
What I said is strange about it. So it is allowed.
No.
What is strange? I don't have a problem. No, I just.
But you're about to explain.
What is strange about it?
Exactly. I said this is a strange exposition of the law, and I'm trying to explain. And you're saying it's allowed. So Now that I know that is allowed, I'll prepare accordingly.
Bernard, trust me to ask questions that you may have envisaged. Okay?
No, I don't have a problem.
Not you.
First of all, one, you say that they are competent witnesses.
Exactly. Nobody has.
And yet you turn around to say that competent witnesses presented before our law courts constitute an affront to Article 19 of our Constitution. How do you reconcile the two? If the Attorney General had presented incompetent witnesses and the court proceeded at the back of the incompetent witnesses, you can be talking about Article 19.
I disagree with you.
I disagree, but I was quiet. Can you respect the viewers? That's one. Secondly, Emefa, in law...
Hamza, give me a minute. Generally, in law, who is a competent witness?
Oh, there are a little of them. Sound mind.
I ask because of our viewers.
Yes. That is another full lecture altogether. Yes.
They are competent.
But you see, the most important thing is that they are competent. And they were presented. Secondly, as a matter of strategy, he knows because they supervised the plea bargain law. As a prosecutor, you decide how to use accused persons against each other to achieve a certain aim. So you can have 3, 4, 5 people committing a crime. And as a result of plea bargain, you have an individual who comes forward and says that I accept, I'm guilty. And you are building up a case against the other 3. He qualifies as a competent witness to be used against the other 3. It is acceptable in law. And it is not an affront to any constitutional provision in this country. And it is a strategy a prosecutor can explore. That's the second point. So if the Attorney General does so, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But this is the significant part, and it is clear that my brother has not read her ladyship's judgment.
Oh, he gave me a copy.
Yes. Wrote a copy. So, but this is the significant part. The judge says in the ruling that I acknowledge that there can be the tendency of prosecution witness 1 and 2 in their desire to exonerate themselves. There can be the tendency for them to want to throw the accused person under the bus.
There was, actually.
Are you following?
Yes, I'm with you.
This is important, under the bus. But my role as a judge is to ensure that it doesn't happen. I listen to them. That is why in law, the accused persons have an opportunity to cross-examine them and expose a lie. So the responsibility is dual. That of the judge exposing them and that of the accused person through his lawyers also exposing that deliberate intention of wanting to throw them under the bus. And the judge says that when I listen to all, and that was what pushed the judge into the arena of circumstantial evidence. She says, when I listen to all, it appears that they are not throwing Chairman Wontumi under the bus because even Chairman Wontumi in cross-examination accepted that he told them to go and mine.
To reclaim. He never...
to reclaim.
Yes.
And secondly, there's very accused witness that Chairman Wontumi presented as an expert witness on reclamation, says that there's a cost implication of reclamation and that Chairman Wontumi did not pay for the reclamation.
And that he had a response.
Oh, are you going to allow?
He had a response to that. He suggested
when you were speaking, was
on the maturity of the coconut.
Was that interjecting? Was that interjecting?
No, I'm just
and you see, that's two. That's the third point. And to the extent that she has weighed all the circumstantial evidence, she is convinced beyond doubt that Chairman Wuntumi's arrangement, based on the facts available to her as a judge, Chairman Wuntumi's arrangement was in such terms that it gave the people the opportunity to mine illegally on his land, a counterfeit land. So how is this wrong law? How is this an affront to Article 19 of our Constitution? I'm struggling to understand.
Just a minute. If the witness says that Chairman Wontumi didn't give him resources to reclaim, the response is that there's a means to which you can reclaim. Plant coconuts, make proceeds and use it to reclaim.
No.
Is that not form of payment?
The judge responded, no, that's not payment. The judge responded to all that because the gentleman's allegation was that no. That was Chairman Wuntumi's word against the gentleman's word. The gentleman said, no, you said I should mine illegally.
pay you some of the mine gold, and use some to defray the cost of the coconut planting.
Which I want to be refuted.
But in court, please. When we all appear in court,
then you analyze this.
You don't make it like it's a factual situation.
When we are you see, don't do it. When we're talking, I was quiet. When we appear in court, there are accusations and counter accusations.
Yes.
Not so?
Yes.
The fact that the gentleman has made an accusation, and someone has countered his accusations, the decision is not for me and you to reach. You are a lawyer. And
that is why we are appealing.
The decision is that of the judge to reach.
Yeah.
And the judge has weighed the facts.
And you agree the judge?
Yes, but in this instance, I can bet every kobo that anybody who knows the laws of this country and understands the rudiments of justice knows that this decision will be difficult to overturn.
Don't be saying that.
I know what I'm talking about.
There are serious decisions.
And you see, Emefa,
don't be saying that. You are not the court of
I sought to expose his problematic reasoning of an interpretation of Article 19. And permit me to make further.
I will allow that to go. It's okay.
You would allow that.
Oh, yeah,
but it's not what the guest allows for any
response to such things.
Yeah, you will make a point.
Even your flag bearer is out there hugging people who are using all kinds of
when these things come up,
and he himself referred to a sitting president as incompetent. He's right. He's a demonstrable example of how not to
the appeal you're seeking. Are you seeking to overturn the entire decision? It was because there are many parts of the provisions of the Constitution we can argue over. But I just want to know. You will, but it will come back to what you want to say. Are you appealing on all of it, or the sentence is too much, or all of it?
Both the conviction and the sentence.
You see, and so
Hamza, please be landing. I want to hear from Dr.
After all the lengthy time you gave.
No, you see, I can't be saying this all the time. When this man, when you had your time, you spoke so many. You spoke a long time. You've spoken more than everybody on.
That is not accurate.
They can pull out the time.
Yes, they can. That is not. That is not accurate. So I should stop. Okay, then you can talk.
Just land. Do it.
I've landed.
Please.
Oh, I've landed.
Okay. If you have landed,
in that case,
you see,
no, but he started. I have to continue.
Are you not the host?
I'm
not told to speak.
Oh my God!
I've been sitting quiet here watching.
Do you want to change rules?
All right.
Dr. Zato, let me hear you.
Posterity will not judge His Excellency the President of the NDC for incarcerating Chairman Wontumi. Historians will not say we are judging the president because Chairman Wontumi was considered or not. They will judge him because he fought the Galamsey and he won Galamsey.
Sorry, posterity will do what?
They will not judge him because of the jailing of Wontumi. I believe posterity will ask a bigger question. You came, you saw Galamsey, you promised to save Galamsey, you came, what did you do? So far, the president is losing that argument. So far, he's losing that. So far, posterity, not even posterity, is telling him that, Mr. President, your Galamsey promises are hollow and you are not winning the Galamsey fight. Posterity and history is telling him that, everybody's telling him that, Mr. President, you are losing the Galamsey. I said something yesterday. One of the ways that this government can start to bring about confidence in the Galamsey fight is that they can treat this Wontumi jailing as a come to Jesus moment. As a coming to Jesus moment. We had a similar issue, something closer to that, when the helicopter came down and those patriots died. Most Ghanaians, almost all Ghanaians, thought that this was going to be the rallying point, the point where the president was going to rally Ghanaians and take a very brutal fight to Galamsey. Many Ghanaians thought that this was what was going to spur the president on, wake him up from slumber to declare a state of emergency and to go after Galamsey. We missed that opportunity. My hope is that this Wontumi jailing will do that, will become that coming to Jesus moment, will spur the president on to say that, look, why I have tried my own. He has tried his own solutions for almost 1.5 years now. It's not working. The rivers are not getting better. The forest is not getting healed. This should be the time for the president to say, maybe it's time to listen to the CSOs who have said I should declare a state of emergency and go after bank accounts of people who are doing Galamsey. Maybe it's the time to listen to the Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference who have told me that delay is not an option, I should declare a state of emergency. If tomorrow we wake up and see the president says that I have frozen the accounts of 10, 20, 15 Galamsey campaigns, that the accounts are frozen.
For what crime? You must...
Galamsey, it's wrong, it's illegal.
So, but
if
you must have convicted somebody.
Yes, no, you don't have to.
Or it's rumors.
I'm saying that if you know that Hamza is a Galamsey, and as part of the investigations, you can freeze his accounts whilst you investigate.
On what basis are you making?
Because you are investigating. I'm saying if you have evidence, the president has intelligence and prosecutorial investigative powers that we do not have. The state does that. My point is, unless or until we go for the finances, yes, if you believe that Wuntumi was a kingpin, he wasn't the only kingpin. Where are the others? Even if you believe that Wuntumi was a kingpin, he isn't the only one. And unless until we do that, we have lost.
Do you know some?
No, I don't know them.
So until the investigative bodies find others, how will they?
No, so far the theory we've been presenting, I can go. The theory is that Galamsey is led by Galamsey kingpins. That's what the CSOs tell us, and that's what everybody tells us, that there are kingpins there, and I believe that. Why? Because the guys that they arrest, the guys that are digging inside there, cannot afford to buy an excavator. The guys that they hundreds and hundreds of them they pedal there, they cannot afford to buy, is it a champagne or those? They can't do that. The guys that they pull out of there and harass them, they cannot afford to apply for, how do you call it, a license. Somebody applied for a license. Who did that? Somebody imported that excavator. Who did that? Somebody hired them and is paying them a daily wage. Who did that? I am saying, and until we did this, or we do this, we are bequeathing to the next generation dirty waters, cancerous and poisonous food, and we are destroying our forests. That should not be part of the legacy of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana. Solomon. He can, he should, and he ought to do better, and that is what I think the research is about. So far, they're failing woefully and pathetically.
Honestly, sitting here, I'm very confused as to the position.
Thank you. It's okay to be confused, Solomon. It's okay to be confused.
In all honesty,
I'm happy you are confused. That's
but the point is that, you see,
I don't blame you for being confused.
Yes, if you can't convince them, confuse them. It's a very simple principle that, because the point is that in one breath, you want us to fight against Galamsey. All of us know the effects of Galamsey. Like I started by saying, as we speak, 4 million Ghanaians have kidney problems. It takes no less than 300,000 cities to deal with that problem. A simple mathematics, multiply 300,000 by 4 million, it runs into trillions. It means these people are likely to die. Some of them could be president, medical doctors, engineers, farmers, teachers, presenters, and so on and so forth. That is not our concern. We are rather doing politics with something that must agitate all of us, our minds. Look, United Party, when we were the movement for change and we were doing campaign in election 2024, we said that if we were given the opportunity to govern, we were going to even amend this Mineral and Mining Act and make it a life imprisonment. We are going to imprison people engaged in Galamsey, give them life imprisonment if we are found guilty. We have had leading members of his party, the New Patriotic Party, even suggest that when people are arrested on Galamsey issue, they must be shot. They must be killed. Because their actions and inactions are killing millions. It doesn't matter where you find yourself in this country. You may be eating from a contaminated food. And so that is where you must be coming from. In terms of Wuntumi, whether or not he had a fair hearing.
He never did.
I think he had.
How?
Because the point is that to have a fair hearing, there has to be an adequate notice given to you. You ask yourself whether or not Wuntumi was not given adequate notice in terms of this whole legal trial. He has to be allowed to present his evidence in court and be heard. You ask yourself whether or not Wuntumi was allowed to present his evidence and was also heard. The judgment is so, the proceedings, the trial in court suggests so. He had the opportunity of even inviting as many as 4 witnesses.
That is not the issue.
I'm coming. Whether or not the judge was an impartial judge. So far, scanning across the political divide and also listening to ordinary people, nobody seemed to question the integrity of the judge, Justice Audrey Kokuvite. Nobody. I'm yet to hear. Even the opposition that are saying they are going on appeal, I am yet to hear a single person say that the judge was partial. So these reforms, where would you say that there wasn't any fair hearing? Now, I've listened to my brother make the claim that because those that were involved in the act were used as prosecution witness, then it makes it an unfair hearing.
Exactly.
Now, I asked him whether or not it's permissible under the law. And he has agreed.
Yes.
So something that is permissible under the law, I mean, even if you take the plea bargain act, remember, these people were also not left off the hook just like that. And let me read a portion of the judgment to let you understand that Ogum and the likes were also punished. The concluding part of the sentencing. In addition to the above, pursuant to Section 9 of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, as amended by the Mineral and Mining Amendment Act 2019, Act 995, all items retrieved from the third accused concession as aforesaid are forfeited to the state. So
is it somebody who is doing legal mining who could have gone in for 15 years? And you say he forfeited?
No. Let's go to what were confiscated, were the items that the police retrieved from the...
Does it compare to the punishment of 15 years?
25 excavators were seized during that operation. Pump back action. You know how much an excavator costs?
And you compare that to the 15 years you should have suffered in jail?
No, so the point is that you are a state, and I know you to be a good lawyer for that reason. I don't know why.
So let me ask you.
Yes,
do you think that Ogum and Eisi, who were supposed to have been charged for illegal mining, who were exculpated by the prosecution, was ever going to testify and be honest?
So the honesty of that is why.
Let me regulate this. Let me regulate this meeting that you're having outside of us here. Are you in any way suggesting that the prosecution, after they have secured that they wanted to turn these people into witnesses, they shouldn't use it?
That is why I am saying that. That is my point. Now I'm saying that it is an appealable point. That if you look at the provision in Article 19(1,
stop doing
fresh hearing.
Stop doing
fresh hearing.
What constitutes fair hearing?
I want to hear him. I want to hear him.
He has made this point before.
It can never be fair hearing. It can never be a fair hearing.
Are you taking my time and giving it to him?
No, because
you are going to come back.
I'm trying to see
that's why I'm saying he should stop. Because what you are doing, you are subjecting yourself to public ridicule.
I am a very senior lawyer. I am a very senior lawyer. And I know what I'm saying. I am saying that the circumstances of it.
In very simple
relax.
In very simple
I've been a lawyer for over 10 years.
In very simple
and you are speaking this way.
You want to tell me
okay, wait, so in very simple terms, the prosecution should have used different witnesses.
I am saying that if you look at the contemplation... Stop this. Are you here to teach me law? Are you here to teach me law? I am telling you...
Okay, Solomon was the one on the floor. I'll go to Solomon. It's okay. Please mute both lawyers.
I am sure even your own lawyers will be disappointed in this line of argument.
I've said that responses to such pieces better...
He must himself be an example of responsibility.
I am saying that...
Solomon,
when you are calling people
I need to engage the BOG on money matters.
Because you have decided to... I was speaking, I was flowing, you took my time and gave it to me.
Solomon, I'm back to you. I want to hear you.
So clearly... This is dangerous.
So clearly...
This argument exposes badly.
Are you serious?
Solomon, I'm listening.
Are you
so clearly...
Very serious.
There was no semblance of...
He's been given...
Article 19(1) being flouted. To me was given the opportunity.
It has.
In fact, if you look at the witnesses that he himself invited, the first witness, that defense witness 1, he explained the matters better, for which reason I think would we find himself in jail. Because when he was asked a simple question, when you are reclaiming a land, does it cost money? He said yes. It costs money.
W1.
Yes.
Yes.
So you ask yourself whether or not Wontumi gave Ogum.
But you can
if you're a businessman, you can finance your own business.
So I am building a point. I am building a point.
If you're a businessman and you want to claim that, you can finance your own business.
Here was someone. Here was someone.
Solomon, do you want to give your time to Hamza?
You know what?
Do you want to give your time to Hamza?
No,
do you want to give your time to Hamza?
Just like I allowed him.
You want to allow him?
No, just like he wants to make a...
I'm preparing to go to BOG.
You are preparing. My time is intact.
Yes, in relation to the planting of the coconut.
Yes.
The judge indicated that, look, you had said that you contracted him to reclaim land.
Yes.
But even your own prosecution, accused witness that you brought before us, says that it is costly to reclaim.
Absolutely.
Did you pay?
He said no.
He said no.
How was he intending to pay?
How was he intending to pay?
So,
Wontumi says that, look, I told him to go and plan. Only God knows how long it takes for a coconut to.
About 15 to 20 years.
I tell him to go and plan and take it and pay. Then the judge says that, okay, but, and the accused person says, no, that's not, the prosecution would then say, no, that was not what happened. You said I should use the money and proceeds to bring some to you and use some to reclaim. Are you following?
Okay.
Then the judge says that I have listened to the two of you. But Wontumi, to the extent that you know that it costs to reclaim.
Yes.
And you proceeded, you didn't stop there. You agreed that you send him to your land. You agreed that he had permission to be on your land. And you were not even interested in what he was doing on your land, even if he's reclaiming. That's one. Secondly, you went beyond that to also make contact with excavator dealers. To give the gentleman excavator. No.
Do we use excavator for reclamation? Evidence.
Of course.
In any form of...
Why are you excavator? Who uses excavator to reclamation?
Please, you are not...
You are from a mining place. The mining place for several years.
You have ceded your time to Hamza.
No, let me continue.
No, it's a lie. It's a lie. You're not continuing anything.
He was emphatic that
you it's a lie. You get your time.
Why would I give my time?
It's a lie. He said you get your time. Whose time was Hamza talking? Whose time was he using? Whose time was he using?
Let me finish. Let me conclude.
The point
Let me conclude.
No, he didn't say that. How you people behave?
No, he said just as he allowed. Okay, this is where we end the Chairman to be conversation.
Oh, you want to?
Because you guys don't want to listen to me.
No, it's because
you don't want to listen to me.
I want to make a non-lawyer idea about the culture.
A what?
A non-lawyer, because I'm not.
Quickly,
I want lawyers here, and you see, it's always funny. Lawyers.
Yeah, you want to take advantage and speak. What is it?
And wait, so I'm like, if you want to show that you are the smartest lawyer, you should do it in a law court.
What?
Because you can't sit here and you're trying to make it look like...
No, hang on. Wait.
We are not in the law court.
Dr. Zato, when we empanel you, we empanel you because of the title you hold.
Thank you.
That's one.
So you hear?
When we empanel Hamza, when we empanel you, listen, Dr. Zato, we empanel him because one, he's a lawyer. We need to educate our viewers first before the political party side. It's the same title, so please. So don't say that he should go and argue in the court.
I'm coming here.
Why did you?
I'm coming to say.
Solomon is the communications director for the United Party.
Me, I'm saying that.
All right, gentlemen. No. It's my time and I'm taking it back.
No, but
we're going back.
No, they didn't give reason for you.
I'm taking it back. What you have done? Then you subcontract to the people around you. That's it.
I can't imagine that you want to do this.
I am exactly that.
Well,
this is what Wontumi has
let's talk about. Well, by the time I'm done with this conversation, you may be seeing some of the guests still sitting here. Some of them as well will take leave of us. Those who would like to stay you can stay, but I like to say generally thank you for making it on a Thursday for us. We'll cycle back again when you have any meeting, you can go. But if you enjoy my company, you can stay with me whilst I engage. Now let's talk about monetary policy. So the Monetary Policy Committee of Bank of Ghana keeps policy rate unchanged at 14, and as they adopt a wait-and-see attitude in fully responding to rising crude prices. The question is, what could be the implications of this on the loan that you're currently servicing if you intend to take one soon? And again, what about the broader economy? So this morning, Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana has kept it really at 14. That's what we're talking about. And I'm just going to be talking to the Director of Research at Bank of Ghana, Dr. Philip Abredu Otu. Doc, it's been quite a very busy morning here in studio. Thank you so much for your patience and waiting and staying. And first of all, why maintain the policy rate when crude oil prices are rising and that could result in inflation rates going up? Why are you still maintaining it at 14, Doc?
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for having me in your studios. So you start by saying crude oil prices are rising, but the way we also tend to look at these things is we tend to look at these things in between two MPC meetings. And if you look at what happened in May, where crude oil prices were above 100, and you look at where they are now, currently around 90, between those two MPC meetings, we've seen a retreat in crude oil prices. So from where we set crude oil prices, yes, in the intervening periods, we always see these blips up and down, but between the two intervening periods, we've seen a retreat in crude oil prices. I mean, at a point, it went as high as 110, 11. They were getting to very dangerous levels. At 120, then it becomes very bad, and it impacts our balance of payments severely. But let me get back to the question, why maintain? And let me start off from where we ended the previous MPC meeting. You recall that at that decision in May, the committee voted to keep the policy rate at 14. And I think the basic question we need to ask ourselves is that between that time and now, what has changed? At the time when we took that decision, we explained that the main reason was the uncertainty in the global oil markets. The level had risen to very high levels. And then again, there was the potential for that to feed into inflation. And that was the concern at the time. Now, between now and then, we don't think that anything has changed significantly. The macro conditions still look strong. Inflation is still within our target band. The growth numbers, as put out by Ghana Statistical Service, printed something like 6.4 for the first quarter, which is a healthy growth number. And then again, if you look at our reserves, they are still way above the international standards of 3 months of import cover. We are around 5 months of import cover now. So, and then the fiscal, the way the fiscal is also being managed is just in line with our expectations. Look, if you look at it from that point of view, and the fact that crude oil prices have retreated, maybe there could even have been a case for lowering of the rate, but the committee decided to be a little bit more cautious, observe what is happening on the international stage, and then we will have 2 months to look at all these things. On top of all these things, I think we have enough buffers. When I talk about enough buffers, I'm talking about where our reserves are, because mind you, when crude oil prices go up, for so long as we are importing oil to keep the economy running, our import bill goes up. And when the import bill goes up, it impacts on our reserves.
Please break down the buffers for me before you even proceed. It's an area a lot of people are quite interested in. For those watching us this morning, when you say buffers, you have just started with the crude oil area, but please let me in a lot deeper on the buffers, how our buffers are looking like as we speak.
No, so when we talk buffers, for us at the central bank, we are looking at our gross international reserves.
Okay.
And the gross international reserves are very critical to help you meet prices as and when they unfold. So when there's a crisis, it's like having extra money on top of what you normally keep. So if you have, like, let's say 5,000 Ghana cedis, which is what you normally use, and it's a standard, and you have about 15, you have an extra 10 in there. That 10 is a buffer, and that buffer helps you to deal with emergencies as and when they come. And this is what has happened to us. We have enough buffers to deal with our import bill, such that it does not impact significantly on the movement of the exchange rate. That is all what the buffers are. Okay. Now, if you go to the fiscal realm, they also have a definition for their buffers. And then even if you look at interest rates, quote unquote, we have what we call a real interest rate buffer to also help absorb some of these shocks and prevent rates from moving into unwanted zone.
So you've walked us through what has happened so far. So for example, in the next 2 months, maybe stretch it a bit in 3, what will all of this, how will all of this impact on our interest rates? Maybe you can limit it to the next 2 months.
Yeah, I heard you say 3. What was that 3 for?
I'm saying that in the next 2 months, but if you want to stretch it a bit, maybe 2, 3, how will all of this impact our interest rates? You can stick to the 2 though.
No, so in the next 2 months, we will have another MPC meeting.
Yeah, in September, right?
July, August, September. Yes, we'll have one in September.
Okay.
We will have one in September. We will have another MPC meeting. We will assess conditions. We will look at where we are in terms of our inflation numbers.
Okay.
Have all these things impacted on inflation? Have they even impacted on growth? Are we beginning to see growth decline as a result of these things? Then we can come back to the table and retune the stance of monetary policy.
Okay.
So if we see that as a result of all these things, growth is beginning to weaken in the economy, there could be a case for the central bank to even ease the policy rate further to spur more growth in the economy. If, on the other hand, we see that inflation is beginning to go up, we could take a decision in another direction.
Okay.
The point is that we always need to balance what is happening between inflation and growth and then reposition what the interest rate is. But remember that about a year ago, the rates were around 27%. If you look at the average lending rates today, I think they have come down all the way to around 17% or 15%. I'm not too sure. But what is clear is that lending rates have declined significantly. And I think it's about time the banks also reassesses their lending strategies. They begin to look for where they can get big ticket products. And then the economy itself, as the economy itself expands, we will also begin to see people demand credit to expand their businesses. 27%, 15% now. I think the rates have come down significantly. The governor promised that he was going to ensure that lending rates get close to around 10% in the foreseeable future. And these are the things that we are working on.
Okay, I think currently it's between 15.6% and then 16.3%, in that range. But I'm quite interested in what the committee's assessments of the economy is as we speak.
No, so the picture that I just painted, stable macroeconomic conditions, and this is how the committee viewed it when the data was presented to them. And in the view of the committee sees a movement of the macroeconomic conditions towards steady state conditions. Let me explain, let me break down the steady state conditions for you in the studio at the moment. Now, when we talk about steady state, the question is, are we moving to a point where we will see all the macroeconomic variables settled at a point and they don't move arbitrarily upwards and create macroeconomic balances? So, in our working annals, we have inflation of around 8%. It's a steady state number. We have the current account deficit should always be between 2.5 and 3.5%. Let's say it's 3%. So your current account, your trade with the rest of the world should result in a deficit of 3% of DCB. Currently, we are in a surplus mode. Currently, inflation, we say the steady state number is 8. We are way below that steady state number. Growth, the steady state growth number for our economy is around 5.5%. We are doing above 6%. The fiscal deficit, the fiscal law, the fiscal rule says that the deficit at the minimum should be around 5% of GDP. And our reserves should be at a minimum 3 months of import cover. We are at 5 months of import cover.
Yeah.
If we are going by these metrics, the economy is overperforming now.
Okay.
So we are moving towards that steady state. Inflation has started moving up slightly, a little bit up. That is a technical increase we are seeing. because of some base drift effects, because last year food prices or food supply was in abundance. We are not seeing that equivalent this year, so it's beginning to exert a little bit of pressure. But all said, I think the economy is in a very good spot. You can judge these for yourself now and begin to see that we are in a very good spot. The committee's view is that of stable macroeconomic conditions.
Okay. I mean, you talked about our import cover, reminding us how much we have, about 5 months cover now. You say that our macroeconomics looking very good. In terms of our reserves, we've dropped slightly, about $1 billion, if I'm correct. Should we be worried because of the impact on cedi? Should we?
No, but so you realize that despite that drop, we haven't seen any significant impact on the currency. And let me just provide you with some of the factors that have contributed to that drop of about $900 million in our reserve. I think we started the year off at somewhere around 13.8 or 9. We are at 12.9 now, billion US dollars. The first factor is the elevated energy payments. I think I explained in my earlier submission that when crude oil prices go up, we tend to pay more.
Doc, sorry to cut you, but if you can just position your camera so that I can see you properly, that's perfect.
Is that okay?
This is good.
No,
Yes,
so let me start again. So I said that the factors that have driven or that have allowed reserves to drop to where we are by about $1 billion or 900 million is the fact that the crude oil prices, the rise in crude oil prices led to an elevated oil import bill. So the oil imports shot up, the demand on the central bank to bring in oil to allow the economy to move on has gone up. So that has impacted on the reserves. And then again, there's a 700 million euro bond payment that was also paid. It was paid even ahead of time because the government's buffers look strong and they have a lot of reserves in their debt service reserve account. So they were able to pay their Eurobond interest payments that were falling due ahead of time. It impacted on our reserves. And again, mind you, crude oil prices have fallen a little bit. And the fall in crude oil prices have also contributed to some valuation reductions in our portfolio holdings. So if
what does the valuation reduction mean in very simple terms?
In very simple terms, what it means is that if 3 months ago or 4 months ago, crude oil prices, gold prices were at 4,500, and today gold prices have dropped to 3,900. Definitely, you see that if you value the gold holdings in our reserves, remember our reserves has gold in there as a component. So if you value the holdings of gold in our reserves, the value drops. Because the price has come down.
Okay.
So on that, we are also losing a little bit, and that is why it is always very prudent to combine your gold holdings and hold them strategically, such that a fall in gold prices does not adversely push down your gross reserves position. So that is what has happened.
Okay.
I mean, look at it your way. Today you have a portion of gold in your under your pillow. 6 months ago, the value was 6,000 because of certain things in the international community, certain things going on globally. It's no more 6,000, but then the price now is, let's say, 3,000 per ton. You can see how much you would have lost in terms of gold. Those are valuation reductions.
Okay. I mean, earlier
now the question is, am I worried?
Yeah, not you. Should we be worried? You understand the data. You're a researcher, so I'll take what you say.
Don't be worried.
We shouldn't?
So I'm not worried. No, don't be worried at all, because despite all these things, we've been able to meet all these obligations and the reserves are still stuck up high. they're at 5 months of import cover. 5 months of import cover, what that necessarily means is that if today the country should be in a crisis, we can't be on autopilot for 5 months.
Okay.
Without resorting to help from anybody from anywhere in the rest of the world, and the economy will continue to move on autopilot.
Okay.
That is what figure means.
Well, so earlier this morning, I had a short conversation with Professor Kote. Now, he tells me that for a country like ours, a little bit of GDP is okay. We shouldn't really get it all the way down. Explain to me what that means for a researcher. What does that mean? And how much of inflation for a country such as ours is okay?
No, so I guess what Professor Kote was talking about was that in all our decisions, we should be mindful of the real sector of the economy and not take decisions that are based purely on inflation, because if you take decisions that are purely based on inflation, you are likely to unnecessarily increase your interest rates and kill the real sector of the economy. I don't think the central bank is doing that.
Okay.
Early on, I indicated that we always look for that fine balance between keeping inflation low and then allowing growth to also grow. So in the function that we use in deciding on where to place the policy rate, growth forms a part of the equation, and inflation also forms a part of the equation. So you should be rest assured that the central bank looks at real sector indicators when it takes these decisions, and that is how come we have indicators like business confidences, consumer confidences. We are always sampling the public. We are always talking to the public. We are always getting real-time, real sector data to support decision making.
Okay. Doc, I can go on and on and on with you, but finally, I'm just going to let you go. Ahead of today's review, what's that one thing you want the Ghanaian people watching you today should have before 2 p.m. so that the expectations are not crushed or elevated so much? That will be your final words.
What are you talking about? The budget?
Yes, review today. Just your comments, side note comments.
No, I think fiscal policy has been implemented very well so far, and we expect that to continue, and we expect the minister to come out with measures to continue to keep the economy on that steady state.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the show. Dr. Philip Abredu-Otu is Director of Research at the Bank of Ghana. Please stay with us. We'll just take a quick turn, and when we come back, I definitely want to hear your expectations on the review of the budget. The number will be on your screen, but if you're quick enough, you can write it so that your call can come through quickly. 030-2211-691 or 030-2211-692. Keep that number. Stay with me. Have a few minutes. I'd like to hear from you.
Upgrade your print game with Konica Minolta, proudly powered by SkySat Technologies. From all-in-one machines that print, scan, and copy to professional systems and heavy-duty production machines, we deliver unmatched performance. Right now, SkySat has an unbeatable offer. 1 entire year of free servicing on all Konica Minolta machines. That's 12 months of expert maintenance for new and existing customers. Visit our new VIP Print Center at Pegasus Place, Airport Residential Area for a live demonstration. Call us on 050-164-5180 or 0302-798-829. Again, it's 050-164-5180 or 0302-798-829. SkySat Technologies. Performance that delivers every time.
Through every stage of life, some things simply stay with us. The spirit of never giving up. A throwback to a bygone era. Love was service. A silent statement of love. A forceful gesture that deepens bonds, balancing work and life. Every drop refreshes. Every sip hydrates, just as it should. I am awake, one for life. Drink water, drink awake. Supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is
Another week is here on the greatest of all time show. My name is Giovanni Clip, and tonight we're bringing you talent. Contestant number 1, let's bring Baby Girl. Let's bring. He did it for you.
Cut. Oh, there is a leakage.
Where's the plumber? For quality and durability, insist on Syntex pipes. If you want quality, this be where you belong. Strong, tough, and reliable. Your perfect match to your trusted Syntex pipe. Syntex pipe, it dey carry water, no wahala. Syntex pipe, it dey make water dey flow. Syntex, and you're strong, and you're tough.
Palladium Residences in Achimota isn't just an address, it's the home you truly earned. Secure your place with just a 10% deposit and choose from beautifully designed modern apartments or spacious townhouses built for everyday comfort. This is more than a building. It's a vibrant, curated community with a clubhouse, state-of-the-art gym, and an on-site hotel, all at ABC Junction, minutes from Achimota Mall. Enjoy city energy while retreating to your private sanctuary. Call now to reserve your unit and benefit from limited launch incentives, including priority unit selection, executive pricing, and flexible payment options available. Don't miss the chance to pick the best homes. Book your private site visit today. Call 050-9823-424. Palladium Residences. Live smart, invest better.
All right. Well, Emefa, I was looking at you to say welcome to the show.
Yeah, because I've been stalking for a while now, so why not just just welcome them back and actually say bye-bye on our behalf. I was telling them to call us, but unfortunately, our time is not enough. So maybe after the review tomorrow when we come, we can
exactly.
Yes. Tomorrow you have a big dialogue conversation, or it's actually there's a conversation where you're supposed to be moderating tomorrow.
Yes. We are building up to that particular bigger conversation we'll be having at the UNAIR. So tomorrow we'll be having them in studio for us to talk about
food, water, safety, and all of that, how our communities should be healthy. I apologize that I announced that you get to have your say on the budget, but as you know, the time, I promise that we'll do that tomorrow when we come on the show. But Kojo,
all eyes will be in Parliament by 2 p.m. Our cameras are there. Our men and women will be stationed there to bring our viewers all that you have to hear about the budget. Per data that we've seen, some revenue targets are not doing so, or some are doing very well. So what would the finance minister come up with? But we'll get to hear that when 2 p.m. he joins Parliament to give us those updates on the media review budget.
You definitely want to stay with us because this is a continuous coverage. Emefa, Akosua, Adeti, and Samuel Kojo Brace, we're out of here, but we're definitely handing over to Mamiesi Thompson.
I think we have to add Obatu to Mahofe.
To continue the coverage, and we'll definitely take reactions across the country and everywhere that you need to know to test the pulse of the economy. Please stay with us. My name is Emefa Akosua. I said my name already, but I like to say it. My name is Emefa Akosua.
Okay. I'm